Go live has been initiated. We should now be live.
Opening live window in 3, 2. Wah, 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 wah. There we go. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, why the hell are you on this live, guys? Because you should know this reference, because it's a spoiler.
And if they don't know, they're going to learn. So
This is true.
stick around, even if you don't know.
So if you don't want to watch the episode, then welcome. We will review instead, I guess. Yes.
That's a good way to put it. Sure.
Sure.
We got some super chats to start off from Ozzy, of course.
Oh my god.
$5. Seven did the Air Force One maneuver. Get off my bridge. Yes, for sure. And another $5 from Ozzy. Jack has a shield device. Picard access code 4-7A overrides 1121. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
A shield device that looks like a thermal detonator.
Yeah, it does. Oops.
Like a lot. Change the color from red to blue or something.
Perhaps they were inspired?
Ah.
Yes. And by inspired, I mean stolen. Well, I mean,
I was going to say that inspired meaning stolen.
What?
Yeah.
What's the show that that did the same the Bosk face? It was Star Wars, and it was someone else. It was the exact same helmet. You know, Leia's thing.
Oh, the Breen.
Breen, there you go.
Yeah.
It's like, this is super similar, guys.
Yep. Give them one of these shield devices and then have them hold it up. There you go. That's definitely a scene you need in one of your fan films.
I mean, boy,
he'll hold it up and one of your characters can yell, "Oh my god, he's got a shield generator!"
Boom. It'll be a
thermal shield generator.
A detonating protective field. It detonates in front of you to protection. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Stuart.
Hi. Welcome back, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Episode 8, season 3, Picard. We're almost at the end. We've got 2 more to go. And this one was called Surrender. So, yeah. We got lots to talk about, so can't wait to get into it. Sean T, though, throws in $5. Crusher's a wild card. The huge Jack reveal will reveal question mark.
I mean, we'll reveal a question mark.
Yeah. I'm kind of fed up with the whole mystery box thing by now, but whatever.
I'm
Go
gonna
share.
Yes, that.
Yeah. Please go away.
Oh, do you want to play the video or not?
Yes. Play the Fleet video.
Fleet, new video, 3, 2.
All right, here's the Fleet video, guys. If you guys want to support us and also get your name on this video, be assigned to one of these ships, or a new one if you become a captain or an admiral, by all means you can do so by clicking that join button down there. It's a small amount to pay every month. It's kind of like a monthly subscription thing, but it shows your support for the channel, helps us out in the YouTube algorithm, shows that we are important enough to you guys that you guys want to join the channel on a monthly basis. So if you can, please do. If you want to do it another way, you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards. The same membership perks apply, the same ranks, everything applies over there. That's the same here. Just it's on a different platform, and YouTube doesn't see those analytics. It doesn't know how much you love us. So shake your pick, whichever way you want to help us out and support us, please do. Also, make sure you hit that like button. 74 of you here right now, 38 likes. Let's try to get to 50. I think we can do that quite easily. So hit that like button. It's always the easiest way to help us in any medium, any form. And also consider super chatting during the live, letting us know your thoughts, your comments, your questions, your theories, your concerns, anything like that. We do read them all out and be immortalized forever on the internet. That your name was said and your whatever was addressed. And yes, don't worry, Kirk Novak and Metallica fan, we'll get to yours as soon as Samuel comes back from sharing this video, so we can get some more viewers in here. That's another thing you guys can do as well to help us out, is just share the video around with people you know that would love Trekyards content or just like Star Trek, because we certainly do. And we want to keep having you guys coming back and having new people join. So please also make sure you're subscribed, clearly. Subscription is free, but joining the channel gets you some cool perks if you look at the members perks there, including the Discord channel, the Discord server, the official Trekyards Fleet Discord server, where you too can hang out with us and all of the other Trekyards members, and all the people from your ship. You see what ship you get assigned there. There's different chat rooms for each ship. You can go in there and hang out with your ship. That'd be kind of neat. Build some bonds and some friendships. Good way to hang out and do things. But yeah, as soon as we're able to, we will get into this review and on with it, so to speak. So just waiting for Samuel to come back. Also, yeah, I forgot the other thing. Click the link down below. There is links to our Teespring and our TeePublic server where you can get some really cool Trekyards shirts and merchandise. Not only cups, but like mugs and like shower curtains, socks. I have like phone cases. What else we got? Pillows, blankets, shirts. As I said, fanny packs. Well, don't call them fanny packs in the UK. That's a bad thing. But that's literally what they are. So, what else? Lots of things over there. Magnets and stickers and things like that as well that you can get. So, anyway, lots of ways to support the channel and help us out. So if you can, please do. This is the way. All right. I wonder if I change the size of my... because I don't like how big I am in that window there. Let's just move that down a bit. There we go. Oh, look, Sammy's back.
Are you a changeling? Is that what you just confirmed to me?
No.
Using odd phrases there, like Sammy.
I warned you I might be saying Sammy because I've been watching Supernatural. Sorry, you didn't get... Sorry, I gotta do it right. Sorry. Sammy.
Oh, he's Batman now. Oh my god.
Oh, Dean as usually. He's got that gruff. Sammy. Everything's the end of the world, don't you know?
Well, I mean, it is though often.
Man.
I mean, it happens more than once. It happens every year or two.
Every season, yeah.
Yeah. There's always a bigger threat that they never talked about in earlier seasons. No one thought to mention the even worse thing they could stop.
That happens all the time on shows like Transformers as well. Every movie is like another plot that Megatron had planned from the beginning, even though the other plan would have negated this plan. But anyway, regardless of all that, there are like multiple backup plans.
And didn't you know there are 9 bajillion ancient Transformers that entirely erase the idea of the canon because how do they exist earlier than the movie?
Yes.
That's the answer. That's the answer, Stuart. Movie.
All right, we got some more super chats. Let's get to those.
I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think?
Kirk Novak says puts in £5, so thank you so much. From now, I'm saying fucking solids every time someone inconveniences me in the slightest. That's great.
Very good.
Sammy, what? Can you like fix my window? It's over too far.
What did you do to it, Stuart? Did you break it?
No, I didn't. Please fix it. Metallica fan 1442 throws in £2. Fucking solids. Made me literally laugh out loud.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And Jonathan King has joined the channel at the rank of lieutenant. I hear my spiel, my rousing speech coming from the captain inspired someone to join the fleet. So thank you so much, Jonathan King.
I mean, I would if I was a fan of Trekyards. I'd join the fleet.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, especially as we might have some things planned that will be interesting.
Ooh,
boy, what an unhelpful tease, but some meta game stuff that you guys will be, I think, rather engaged in. Yeah.
Keep in mind, a lot of this is just like we're on the launching platform for a lot of this stuff, so a lot of stuff will be coming in as we get it set up. So, just
it's a brand new thing we're inventing as we go, but it's going great.
Indeed.
Oh. Yeah, easy froze. So, Stuart!
Yes, that's my name.
Is there a poll?
There's no poll.
I thought there was a poll, okay. Stuart, what do you think of this episode of Star Trek Picard? And how do you feel, of course, after your first reaction without me? Well, your first reaction was with me, because we are recording. And then your discussion, your talking to the audience over the course of many days. What is your retrospective now, full thoughts? I want to hear them.
Okay, well, I've seen it 3 times now, and it's very good. It's, again, very full of action. There's always stuff going on. The pacing, I think, is always the kind of spot on. some things get dragged out a little too much with just kind of being reiterated, and I wish this last episode and this one would have been combined into one episode. Maybe a little bit, as you said, I think a little bit longer than an hour could have covered both these episodes. It feels like they're stretching a little bit, but it's building up to the epic 2-part finale, which better be epic both parts. So I'm kind of fine with it. I just felt that there was a little bit of repetitiveness going on. Oh, what's going on?
Rust Knuckle. And Helpful Thieves was my nickname in high school. that deserved great. A pause and a respond.
Yes, that's good.
Sorry to interrupt, Stuart. That was funny.
That's okay. We got the wrap up on Thematic and the Shrike, and I love that a lot of people were proven wrong. As a result, Classic. Who was it? Classic for real. They were convinced that this was the female changeling from DS9, and they said they'd pay us $50 super chats if they were wrong. So last night, instead of doing that, they joined at the rank of Admiral, which is actually a little bit better. I got some other bets going on. Mark Lawrence bet me $100 that we would not see the Enterprise D, and they would not shill out the money to build the bridge. So I made him bet that they would, and he will pay us via PayPal should he be wrong. So anyway, it's fun making bets with you guys, apparently.
It is. It's more likely they're doing an LED wall or green screen. I mean, it's not like they're going to build anything. They could just do a green screen. I mean, you saw a data set.
Yeah.
It was...
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, moving on to my thing here. The data lore reintegration.
That's in TNG, Stuart. What are you on about?
Goodbye Brother thing was fantastically done in this episode. The callbacks to Sherlock Holmes, I of course liked. That was great as well. And that wrap up went fairly well, I think. Could have been a little better. I wish they would have de-aged lore. If lore was de-aged and data wasn't, I think that would be better. But besides that, I think it was pretty good. But then when Data is fully back and he's chatting with Geordi in the hallway, he's making jokes, he's doing his contractions. It's fantastic to see the two of them and the whole. How do you feel? I feel. I think it was really well done. Plus, we got everybody together at the briefing room table, which was nice. Some nice banter back and forth, and some really cool things going on there. So I appreciated all of that. Other than that, oh yes, we got a new function of Terry and crew wanted to put a little stick in the eye of the whole bridge window thing, and made it just not only just a set of sliding doors, which again, awesome job. So a new ship feature to talk about, which is fun.
And you assume that any ship with that bridge module has it, so Stargazer and Intrepid?
Yeah, all the new builds would have it, yeah. We know that Cerritos did something similar as well in the last season of Lower Decks.
Well, someone
ejected the... Yeah.
Yes. V-screw injection, very classic tool in the arsenal.
Again, but not a window.
No, Stu. Who would think that? Yeah. Yes. Does it change in retrospect then, or as in the rewatch? How does that change the vibe, knowing Data's going to come back and?
Oh, it's so much better. I think again, knowing what to expect, you can kind of savor everything and know where it's going. So yeah, I don't like they killed Tavine. Spoilers. I would have preferred that the other lady got killed because I didn't know her as well. Tavine, and just the shockiness of it was sad and depressing, and I didn't like it. So stop it.
So they achieved their goal, is what you're saying?
They did, absolutely. Please stop it. Thanks, I hate it. All right.
Just in time for you to hate the character of whatever her name is. She then goes out the window.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm kind of done with the mystery box, the Jack thing. Like that's the Jack in the Box, literally.
Which they reference.
I know they did. This is fucking great.
That was good.
Yeah, it's another meta one. But I'm done with it. I just want it to be over. And apparently, I'm not going to say anything, but.
Well, with 2 left, it would be unlikely that it, and with the literal last 1 second of the episode is...
I know, but okay, I'll say it because I'm just going to anyway.
Okay.
the trailer for the next episode has Deanna running away from the door, so I don't think we're going to get an instant reveal. It might take a couple minutes or whatever.
Well, the whole episode.
Maybe she opens it. He opens it. You don't see what it is. She reacts and runs away. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I just need to get it done and over with. We need time to savor it. We still need to know who the big bad is and what is going on with Jack, which are very probably closely tied together, which is great. But 2 episodes to kind of wrap that up, plus all the Frontier Day stuff. I don't know. It better be. They better stick the landing. So, but as for this episode, I think it was fine. I just wish it would have been combined with the last episode. A lot of people have been saying this is the best episode of the season, and I absolutely 100% disagree.
Who said that?
Quite a few people on the live last night. I think they mean the emotional moments, and sure, those were fantastic with Geordi and Data, and everybody getting back together. But that's just very small parts of this episode. The episode as a whole was not the best. I think it's the second worst out of the season for me, just above last week's. And that's not saying it's bad. It's very good. But anyway.
And the irony being is that, obviously we do our reviews and we look at social media, and the amount of people that were saying seeing Voyager in the docking ring, hearing the music, made me emote so hard. I've not heard many people say online the Brent, and it's good, but I've heard way more Voyager love as emotionful than this stuff. That grabbed people in a way this episode certainly hasn't. So even though that person might say that, seeing Voyager seemed to have grabbed people more.
Yeah, social media is a fickle bitch. Because Mandalorian, this last episode, people are saying, I absolutely love this episode. And people, this is the absolute worst episode of Mandalorian ever.
A lot of hate on this one.
Enjoyed this episode, Train, but for very obvious reasons once you've seen the episode. I know you haven't yet.
Yeah, it looks like such a weird season from everything I've not seen. It looks like they've really not shit the bed, but gone a direction that, who would do this? I don't know why they would. Yeah. They definitely just feel like they want to not, mess up their baby to do other things. Ahsoka looked cool, though. It was a fun episode. So. What do you think of the Ahsoka trailer?
Oh, it was pretty great.
That's pretty great.
I only watched it literally half an hour ago, so.
And obviously you guys are here to listen to our Ahsoka trailer review. So we tricked you here.
Change the thumbnail real quick. We sucked them in now. Change the thumbnail and the title.
See, you got to wait until the end of the live to hear my first reaction. So you got to wait to hear the Ahsoka stuff to be able to see what we thought about the... no, Ahsoka trailer, great. Thrawn, finally, good. Want to hear the cast.
Anyway, we don't want to spoil it for anybody that's not expecting.
Well, that was a big spoiler, so... But it was in the trailer, so it can't be a spoiler. If it's in the trailer, it's not a spoiler, by definition, because the studio's already said has already shown it to the world. Stuart, Super Chats, what do people think?
Well, I don't know, I'm just going to finish my thing. So, like I said, this is the second to worst episode in this season, in my opinion. But overall, that's
least
still...
best.
That's right. Yep. But still, overall, it's really good. For its moments. I just wish it could have been truncated a bit and tacked on to the other episode, I think. But anyway, there we are. That's it. So Super Chats, what do people think? Metallica fan 1442 throws in £5.
Thank you.
I am gutted that there has been no spin-off to the show announced, but it looks like we're getting a 32nd Century Academy show. Goddamn Kurtzman. It does speak for a lot of people.
Because Strange New Worlds got announced 7-8 months after, because you got to do all the legal stuff. You got to do all of the many things. They can't announce it on a whim. I mean, all the budgets are already talked about.
They're waiting for fan reaction. I'm sure they knew it would be great, but they're waiting for fan reaction. So it's not like the fans are going to say, we want a Captain Shaw show after 2 episodes, and they're going to be like, all right, greenlit, boom, done, let's go, announce it. No, you got to wait. You got to give it time. Because
there was a thing with the Stranger Worlds, people kept saying it at conventions, they kept getting asked, there's all these different interviews with them saying, would you do a season? And of course I had to say, they'll pay me to do more Star Trek, yeah, I'll do it. Of course I would. I'll be a lead and double triple my paycheck to be a lead. Sure I will. Of course, they're not going to say no, right? But it took that constant reminder of the conventions being asked. So now we need the same thing. We need Brent and stuff we always asked, and then, But obviously the Stranger World cast are a lot younger, more able to do things. If Patrick can't do much walking, Anyway, side note.
Andy Urich throws in $20. That's an amazing super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love seeing Spot a lot more than I could have imagined. For whatever flaws some of these recent episodes might have, seeing Data fulfill a decade-long quest to be human is well worth it. Yep, and we've been saying that they should have done that for a while now, both of us. that making Data human with a golem body is kind of like
Obvious.
the way they should have done it. Yeah.
I mean, we said that at the end of season 1.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly.
give him the option. He'd totally choose life again.
Speaking of the end of season 1, that's what's behind the red door. As soon as the red door opens, a tentacle's going to come out and grab Jack.
No, it's Narek. He's the villain. The season 1 guy that we forgot about. He's the real villain. To get revenge on Starfleet for imprisoning him in season 1 when he tried to kill the universe. Yep. Call back to its own show. Wouldn't that be satisfying, guys?
No.
Because he wore a red pendant that one episode that you forgot about because no one cares about season 1. Crazy!
Christopher Peterson, $5.
Yes.
The red door is going to lead to the bridge of the Enterprise D. No idea how that will fit in, though. I'm probably wrong, but that's my fringe theory.
I mean, you can pick...
I don't even know what to say about that.
Because why would Jack love the Enterprise D so much to make it... Well, I guess
he's
hate it so much.
He's a Constitution man, after all. He's not a galaxy man.
No, it should be the... Oh my god, they built... Yeah, there we go. He ends up with the Ticonderoga sets. That'd be shocking. That'd be a twist. Everyone's low-keying it. Because, you know, imagine if you got one famous bridge next week, right? Imagine if the Connie Bridge turns up. A famous bridge we've wanted to see for decades. Amazing. Be cool. Probably not going to happen, though. Bridges are expensive. Even if they are. And flight costs are expensive, too.
Jason, $5. I'll bet you $15 that Janeway makes some type of appearance. Okay. I don't think she's going to. She's been referenced a few times. A lot of people are calling that, even though Terry said she's not in this season, that she's going to be. It would be great. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see this. However, with her being in Prodigy, and I don't think that they're going to do that. Well, I would love to see it, though.
The issue is it makes all the sense in the world she would be in it, but she's been locked into Prodigy, and also expensive, and etc. So all the reasons. I think Tuvok is the allegory for Janeway, for the equivalent of the Voyager character, so he'll be there to be that side of the fence. Because, you know, I mean, it's either Doctor, Tuvok, or Seven, she's Seven, or Janeway, who is close to Seven in that sort of mental way.
Yeah.
That's good.
Brian Donaldson, member for 12 months at the rank of Admiral.
Wow.
This season has been completely amazing, and every episode is better than the last. It really makes me sad that we're nearing the end.
Well, that's true. It's definitely a moment.
Yeah.
Because 7 you got 3, 8 you got 2, then it'll be 1, and
it's sad because there's 2 more episodes of Mandalorian left too. So it's like they're both going to end at the same time. It's like, no.
And the thing is, we might not get live-action Trek this good for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. Seriously. It's very possible, because live Trek hasn't been as good in 5, 10, 20, 30 years. I mean, you know what I mean? It's you know...
Yeah.
It's all who you hire, and they've not hired good people so far.
Let's see. Gentikyle. Great name. Member just joined at the rank of Ensign. So we have a new ensign in the fleet. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Ray Ricks, £5. Last 2 episodes, good. Just a few logic issues with the writing, and story is dragging a bit at this point. It's starting to have a little bit of what we experienced very early on in season 2 of Picard. Yes, things are getting a little bit drawn out, but it's not too bad. They've been pretty good at showing us a mystery box and then answering it, showing and answering. And the one that's kind of dragging is the Jack one. But anyway, that's just my thought. Spaceport throws in £2. Can new changelings defrost and reform like the T-1000? Possibly. Who knows? A lot of people made that argument last night too. Changelings can survive in space. Yes, but these are evolved or forced evolution. But regardless, they're different species of changeling. More organic.
And it's can survive so much more interesting if they gain some abilities and lose others.
Yeah, they already said shorter lifespan and in constant pain as a result. So.
And also they can't space. I mean, clearly none of them have become any sort of inanimate object. Animals, they've only become goo. So I think it's fair to say one of them would have tentacled, would have been a bird, would have been a mist, would have flown.
Hidden as a bulkhead.
Yeah, none of that has played. So I think it's, even through passive showing, they've lost most of their ability set, but improved their organic ability set. Which makes sense. If they've now got organic mass inside their gelatin, you can't turn organic mass into dust, into a cup. But you turn other organic forms. Makes sense. It's a very organic, it's a very organic thing. Thank you.
Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Love Stratagema Prey reference Foley, like Jar Jar Binks. Or Foley likes Jar Jar Binks. I didn't mind Jar Jar Binks. I thought Jar Jar Binks was pretty cool. But yeah, everybody's referring to the Stratagema strategy, which I didn't get the reference. I must have missed it.
Where was that?
I don't know.
Okay. Tell us where it was. I missed that too.
Lily Mack throws in $2. Thank you so much, Lily.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Taylor T throws in $20.
Boom.
I wish more of the main plot had developed, but I enjoy this episode. The data lore exchanges were wonderful, and Vadic's final time was perfect. Or final line was perfect. Fucking solids, yeah.
Now the thing is though, and this is what Red Letter Media said, I think it's very fair.
Sorry.
The small character stuff is infinitely better than large story stuff.
Yeah.
Like, a scene of two Brents talking is better than just any of his scenes, honestly. But, like, the small moments with each of them, even, Picard saying to Beverly, we're here, I'm here, like saying, your parents are here, boy. Like, that's stronger than seeing Jack thermal detonator, maybe. Like, those are good, but the smaller character moments with our characters we know and love and appreciate, they're so well written that they work so much better. Like, I didn't need to see the massacre of the crew sequence. Thematically it works, but it's like, that's okay. But then you throw two old men in a corridor walking, and it's like, that's gold!
Indeed. All right. The STEM support throws in $5.50 Canadian. Star Trek fans debating bridge window or screen. Metalla swoops in. Ha, motherfuckers. Neither. Hatch. Yeah.
Only for this generation, though. There was never a window.
Yeah.
And that was a hatch.
Yep. George Mangrum, member for 25 months at the rank of captain.
Wow.
We don't even know if Shaw or the Titan will survive. Remember the Captain Rios Stargazer show? Exactly. There's that too. I have a feeling they'll both survive, though. I think the Titan might get beat up. Shaw's already been beat up multiple times, but I think they'll both survive till the end.
Or Titan B. Or Titan A. Titan B. Titan B.
A lot of people are also calling for the destruction of the Titan A and then give Captain Shaw and his first officer, 7, the Enterprise G. It's not how that works, guys.
But yeah, Shaw is the wrong captain for Enterprise. Holy shit, he's the wrong captain. I mean, 7 as well wouldn't be how many of the captains would yell, "Get off my bridge!" None of them. Like, she's not the right sort of personality to be an Enterprise captain, no offense. She's not ready to be a captain anyway. She's too immature.
And he's going to call her 7 by the end of the season. I think what's going to happen is she's going to say, can you call me 7 or something? He'll be like, I'd prefer to call you number 1. Or something like that. With Picard there as a reference.
That's kind of good.
I think that's kind of naturalistic, right?
Yeah. That's fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's called That's called workaround.
Yeah. All right. Kirk Novak, £2. What's behind the door? Beverly's ghost candle. Oh, God.
I mean, maybe it's a ghost baby as well. Ghost powers. Ghost powers could probably do everything they said. Maybe.
Darth Duck. It's in €5. Sorry. Don't know what's more stupid. Big Hatch main viewer. Why do they need this on a spaceship? Or a sword fight in the corridor. Data stuff was great, of course. as long as it's not against changelings. It's kind of a weird thing to do, but again, Salty Trekker last night was freaking out about Worf stabbing the changeling, which he immediately ionized, but it should have just gone through him like it did with Odo when somebody threw something at Odo. First of all, Odo saw that coming. Second of all, Odo is actually a changeling. These are evolved to be more organic. So I think a sword through the back might kind of surprise one for a minute. I'm just saying.
And it did still go through the changeling.
Yep.
They're just goo piles now, so the noise is the goo.
As for the main hatch viewer, I mean, that can come in handy should the ship crash. You saw Beyond, right? They had to shoot the window out of their ship to slide down the saucer.
Mm-hmm.
It can come in handy in a much different
and besides,
situations.
Out of these three things, which makes the least sense? Having a window, which is just a force field and a retractable plate which you can't see through, so it's a hole with a force field. A
transparent aluminum.
Well, no, I'm just saying those three.
Yeah.
Having a literal skylight, which is just glass, the equivalent of just glass, or a hatch that opens so you can get out of the bridge module if you want to. I think all three are the same level of.
Yeah.
But it's not a bridge window. Like those three are on the same level of. Okay.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yes. Ian Mooney throws in £5. Great sharing Fridays with you, monologuing protoplasms. Oh, thank you. That is us.
Yeah. It's a good line.
We're almost at the end of the super chat, so we can hear what you think about
this
episode.
But we want to know what these people think, so it's wonderful you guys have your thoughts. Because that is, we do our review, you guys know, you watch it, you enjoy it, but this is the time to put your thoughts in. And if you super chat, we have to read it. We always do it. So if you want to derail us, you can. If you want to force us to talk about, skip to the end, you can make us do that, etc. Yeah, you've got the power here.
Mm-hmm. Bradley Thomas, $10.
Oh!
Who the hell is in charge of the merchandising for this show? Paramount is leaving a ton of money on the table by not capitalizing on the popularity of this show. Playmates, figures, and ships, and uniforms. Yes, they've been leaving money on the table since Discovery Season 1. I would have wanted some Discovery Season 1 figures. I'm just saying.
Well, in fairness, though, the time they would have had to have started this would have been in the middle of the pandemic, when nothing was open, taking new orders.
Such a fucking awful excuse.
Because it takes about 9 to 11 months to go from a concept to having it out on shelves minimum. So it was never gonna. If the pandemic hadn't happened, fine, but no, the pandemic entirely. I mean, digital stuff maybe, but that's why it's now in Bridge, Starfleet Command. So the Titan is now in that game. So they are starting to roll out Picard content. It might be on Stowe eventually. So digital stuff it can be, but yeah, it was never going to be physical big stuff. Just not the level we'd want it to be anyway.
Yeah. Ray Ricks, £5. It was strategy. Their data just blocked the other player to draw. Okay, that makes sense. Here he let lore consume him. Yes. He played not to win. He played to just kind of just.
Okay.
Good.
I get it. I wonder if that was the. I kind of wish the graphic of his head had been a bit more shifting like this to be a Chattoon board to kind of make the homage even further. That's funny.
Yeah,
okay.
That would have been awesome, actually.
Like just a subtle thing, just like a rotate, make it more.
Yeah.
That's fun though. I like that. It's good show.
Sean T, $2. Data lore 50-50 scene is like Cain and Abel. Abel wins. Yeah. What was the other parallel for that? Oh, Rutherford.
Oh god, season. Yeah, that just happened. Oh yeah, that just happened.
Yeah.
It's almost the exact same scene, just with more budget, because I can just show.
Somebody asked me last night which one did it better. I'm like, ooh, probably Rutherford, but you got the legacy of Data, so.
Yeah,
it's tough.
But also you have old Brent Spiner versus old Brent Spiner versus brand spanking perfect Delta Flyer and brand spanking perfect uniforms and brand spanking. It's hard to compete when, everything looks as it should. That's the same year. That's hilarious.
Yep.
Cool.
And apparently all the showrunners talk to each other, so they all know what's going on with each other's stuff. I don't know about that. Anyway.
I don't think Terry was on season 3 when they wrote that episode because the way things are pushed back. He wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Spaceport, £5. Loved Worf scene so much.
Mm.
Riker, is this still a torture? Light
Yes.
and dark. That's Trek. Yeah. And apparently, what Worf was saying to Deanna was to prove that he wasn't a changeling. But I didn't really get that at all. So, anyway.
You don't linger on those moments if that's the point.
Yeah.
No.
And lastly, Gabriel Canada throws in $2, but no comment. So thank you so much.
No.
Wasn't the last.
I'm being stopped again. I want to talk, guys.
Wenlock throws in £5. Feels like Brent had more fun playing Merge Data than he did in almost anything Trek related since TNG finished. It could be more freeing for sure. He could definitely be more Brent, you know? Not Brett, Brent.
Brett Spiner. I do think he clearly had fun in the Baku sequence when he was playing with the kid. Like those little moments, I think he really had fun with. But
All right, guess what?
Yeah.
It's now time. Everybody hit like. 194 likes. And only 194 people watching and only 120 likes. And now, guess what?
Special guest star, third person. What do you think? Hi, Stuart. Yes, this episode. As I said in episode 4, I believe, we're at a point in this franchisee 5 seasons of New Trek where you can actually judge it to old Trek, right? Properly. While Lower Decks and Prodigy were great in real Trek terms, obviously animated, so you can't compare them the same way, because they could just suddenly go to an alien planet with a giant tentacle space creature in Wrath of Khan forms. And it's cheap, relatively speaking. This, it's all difficult. So this is much more comparable. So when this show doesn't do it as well, you feel it, because you know when it does it really, really well. This episode is funny, because the main story spins its wheels almost. 50 minutes just to have them take out Vatic, who stays in the same room for 50 minutes, and Picard and Beverly spend 30 minutes in one room, 30 minutes in another room, and don't do anything in either room. So the main story elements are on absolutely slow-mo, right? In terms of like actual progression. But the emotional beats, the character payoffs, are set to warp 9.7, right? Each one is big, meaningful, hits hard, well written, well acted. So those things, at really regular intervals, help pull up very simple A story. Like just dirt simple, right? Because there's not enough story to tell. But we've got all the payoffs, all the emotional payoffs this week. Having, almost out of context, Riker and Troi talking about their son who died like 5-6 years ago, and also resolved stuff from season 1 that's now unresolved because of retcon Terry Metalis, which is fine. It's stuff that's really entirely removed from the season in like the really abstract. It's not about the main scenario, it's about the characters, but it doesn't matter because the scene's great and the acting's great and the dialogue's great, even if it doesn't necessarily fit season 1 super well. And then Worf shows up. How did he get aboard? It doesn't matter because his scene with Deanna is platinum standard. It's really, really fun. Raffi's there. And then back to the main cast. And then, Data, actual Data scenes, because he's not got to be Data. And I really like watching Brent as Data. Yes, his voice is not like it was at any other point, but he gives it his all. And it's sad to see, what will generally be the last of the Brent as Data performance. You see that childhood, the child vibe behind the eyes, like he's acting his innocence. That is so like, oh, I forgot that's who Data was, right? That lovely, holding spot and talking in such an honest, earnest way. Cut to Law being a true dickhead. Like, lovely parallels, because the new Data is actually emotionful, truly. He's living, he's doing, so that's going to be different, but great. A couple of things that don't really work super well. LaForge's very abrupt swap into we can't cut open the thing. You have to, Dad. Okay, we will. It's so inorganic. Holy hell! It's like, guys, 2 more lines, please. The Raffi fight with the changelings is both silly and plays almost comedic, because she stabs 4 of them, one of which gets up again, showing does nothing, and the Worf disintegrates them because of course he would, showing that everything she did was pointless. All she'd do was phaser them and kill them. And these changelings who are hand-to-hand fighting despite their changelings. That whole thing is not... I would have... It was a technically well-executed scene, but it's cut out. Doesn't add anything. It damages the episode slightly. Like, tiny amounts, but that was nonsense. And, lack of Picard. He doesn't do almost anything in this week. But those are the negatives. Everything else is pretty strong. And killing but not killing Vadic. Well, she's not dead. She's just dead. Meaning, you could argue in a later season they could always find the pieces and glue them back together with heat, T1000 style, and then she's back, or not. So open-ended, which works.
Yeah. Does it work better on a second viewing for you though?
Yes, it does. The you appreciate the date scenes more knowing he's back.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do. You just get to savor the moments. You just get to savor them. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go back to Gabriel Canada's $2 super chat because apparently it failed, but he said Titan A is the Trek Force 1 for President 7. President Henson. Yes. Get off my bridge. Yeah. And funny, she played a president in the last season. Awesome. Got some more super chats though. Let's see here. Jarzia, $2.20 Canadian. Michael Dorn got his wish. Worf made captain. Yeah, I think that's fine. Matthew DeFreitas, $5. First 10 minutes were annoying as fuck because we lost Worf for an episode. I totally forgot he was on the show. When he showed up, I let out a yell, hell yeah. Or a loud hell yeah. That's the point, though. This was supposed to be one of those moments of like, oh yeah, sweet, he's back. So I think that was done well. And Gabriel put another super chat of $2 to say the exact same thing. Titan A was President Henson. Earth Force 1. There you go.
Yes. I
was getting around to fixing. I was waiting for him to finish talking, Gabriel. So
yes.
Trying to pay attention to what's going on in the chat. More times than not. So.
And Neil says the writers rely too much on nostalgia and don't make effort to actually drive towards a meaningful plot. But each of the characters are living people in the story. They all have plots they're continuing. Yes, we saw Tasha, but we had resolutions to 35-year-old plot points. That's forward progression. We didn't linger on anything in particular.
And look, Stu Murray, 47, says, I'm sure someone mentioned this, but Vadic freezing in space didn't make any sense when the changelings that Gigi Hertzler played in DS9 was flying through space in this episode. Yeah, she did mention it. It makes perfect sense. Again, evolved, forced evolution by the people experimenting on them in Daystrom Station to make them a better, more integrated into human form or a humanoid form, changelings. Shorter lifespan, constant pain, unfortunately, but very organic. So, not the changeling that we saw at DS9.
Yeah, she's no longer, they're no longer just liquid, they're liquid and biological. So, you can't just turn blood into a spaceship. You can, so they've cleared up limits, which is great. The limits are good. More powerful spies, less powerful in general. But we start off on the bridge with a Vadic smoking habit. In a very long intro. It's 5. Definitely the first third could have been cut down to like 4 minutes less. They definitely.
Yeah. But as I said from this scene though, the first shot of her like in space, and then like panning back, you see it's a reflection, and then later she ends the episode in space, in multiple. It's kind of neat the way they foreshadowed that. So.
I don't for a second think that reflection will actually exist up there.
It wouldn't. You can tell as they pull back that it doesn't. But,
yeah. But it's nice to see the ceiling part of the set, because only we don't know what it looked like from Dave Blass released shots. If someone built that, work never gets appreciated like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so then yeah, like I said, a little bit of a overly slow start. It's like we already knew all this. Like you wouldn't need any of these scenes if it was a one movie. It's a bit repetitive. It's like we know she's taking the ship, although they don't say.
Yep.
You know, who gave her the command code to the ship?
Yeah, how did she lock everybody out? Because she needs the command codes. Yeah. I made that point last time. She needs the command codes from Shaw. They weren't torturing Shaw. He wasn't on his knees or anything. Like they were like, wasn't in pain. I don't know.
Because you can lock the ship, like I'm sure some failsafe, but she explicitly says, "I can turn for gravity. I can make it cold. I can make it snow. I can make it hot." It's like, no, you can't. Not if the ship's locked. Now, they don't know that. I'm assuming she's lying, because she doesn't do anything. She does absolutely nothing on the bridge. She doesn't use sensors to detect them. She doesn't turn off the... Because she could. She could just turn off life support in every part of the ship except some, and bottleneck them. I assume she's bluffing, because they don't know.
Well, she can't find them, so she can't access the internal sensors, is my guess. Because otherwise she'd know exactly where they are instead of calling Jack out.
And she has got a tricorder. I don't know why she couldn't just... I mean, they murder everyone else, it looks like, at least most people. Why don't they just murder everybody and then walk around the ship and... I mean, it's not that big a ship. You know, you've got 7 guards.
Yeah, well, what did you think of the first line? First we take their eyes. a reference to Ichab? Like, anyway. Or not.
I mean,
okay.
she's a less good Chang. I mean, it's just, you know, she's trying to be that sort of flouty, but he was much better at it. Like, it had a substance she just doesn't have. Like, you know, she's fine, but she's very one note.
Yeah. We got some super chats. Ray Ricks,
Ooh.
£5. I get not blowing up the lift. This suits Seven's character, but why did no one try to lock out the command functions before Vadic got to the bridge?
Well, they presumably did. They have to have.
Yeah.
Like, they would have to have, you'd think.
And by blow the lift, I never got the sense that it was like blow it up. I thought it was more like just open the top hatch that was heading towards the bridge and blow it out into space. The whole turbo lift.
Well, that wouldn't have killed Shaw, though.
No, that's the point. It's kind of like an escape hatch.
No, but he said, she said, I don't want to kill you.
Oh, he would be trapped in there with 2 changelings, so...
Well, I mean, she didn't kill him then, the changelings did.
Oh my god. Okay.
But that whole scene was weird, so we're just not going to talk about it. That whole getting the bridge was not well done.
Joe C. throws in $10.
Oh!
Have to make Star Trek for the mass audience. So when they harken back to past Trek, Geordi happy having Data back, Troi and Crusher sharing a moment. I'll take pun intended and those Easter eggs. Yes. Actually, yeah, that's one thing I forgot to mention in my recap, that both Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis killed it in those scenes. It was very well done. Yeah.
Although this season is not made for new fans, because none of these moments would hit for you.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even explain for a second the Worf scene with Deanna. If you haven't seen one episode of TNG, you wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, it's never... He dated her in one episode, and in alternate universe another episode. There's no long history, so you need to know, why wouldn't you see all good things? But this season's not for average fans. This is for Trek fans. That's why it hits harder, because they're actually going for the audience that it's made for, and people are responding very well for it, because, if it's made for you, then of course you're going to appreciate it more.
Yeah. And Sean T throws in $2. Vadic, first smoke ever on the bridge of Trek?
Yes.
Yes, because Rios never had his cigars lit.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, she has monologue, she threatens, and then, she sends a few of her officers, because she only has a handful, to go murder everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like she's quite menacing, like looking at everybody, but I mean this is typical like hostage type situation deal, so yeah, it's pretty well done.
Yeah, for what it is, it's well done, but there's only so far she can push it, and they don't. The one scene she does exceptional. This one's only okay.
Yeah, she does mention about executing everybody. I just went. But anyway, I got cut out there, didn't I?
Yes. But it would have been useful if
I just wish you would have done a line for.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. It would have been great there to know what she could and couldn't do for real. So she has full access to the ship. She has the shuttles. She has transporters. she could beam her officers into every deck. She could, there's no sense of what she can and can't do, because if you had it, then when it cuts to Picard and Beverly, when they listen to them, the first half of the episode, they are standing in sickbay, which is where Vadic was, where she knew they were. Like, they've not moved from where they were last time she saw them. She doesn't even try and go there. She doesn't try and scan sickbay. That's even worse now you say it. I wouldn't have been fine if they sent like 3 guards in and they'd shot them, but doesn't even bother going back to where they were 5 seconds ago, which was only a few minutes ago. So the fact they just stand in this one room, in a room that has very little control, is a very odd pacing. But the thing is, they haven't got many sets. They haven't got engineering. They haven't got auxiliary control. They've only got a corridor.
Could have gone to the bar and accessed the panel in the holodeck underneath behind the bar. You could have done that.
That would have been no better.
I know.
But it would have been funny, you're right. But you know what I mean? Now I've said it, like, these two would just stand in this room for over half the episode.
Yeah.
They stand in another room. I bet Patrick Stewart had less than 20 lines in this episode.
Yeah. Spaceport, though, throws in £5. I like nostalgia. TNG never got their TOS movies. Wind down till now. The character moments have still been the best scenes, but hope finale rocks.
It's going to. Yeah. This will be the dip and coming up, and then it'll be just...
Yeah.
Okay, big and bold. No doubt.
And Lily Mack throws in $2.
Oh.
Vadic is crazier than Chang, hence the dramatics. Different kind of crazy.
Yeah. Different kind of crazy. More manic.
Anyway, Jack... Yeah. Anyway, Jack... more Vadic. Anyway, Jack finds out that he can control the guy out in the hall, sees the dead bodies of a whole bunch of people, and then gets blasted. But... yeah, this leads up to what's coming later with the being able to control somebody on the bridge. So
I'm not sure why there's a guy holding a rifle to sickbay. Like, that's where he is. He's out the door. He's not a changeling. He's a guy. Like, what are you thinking? Do you know there are people in there? Are you the backup? If you're the backup, why haven't you already walked in the room? Like, it's a fine edit, it's just, why is there a guy holding a rifle at the door? If the door opened and Picard was going to shoot Picard? Just very random. Well, I did like the first person. That was kind of cool. Boy, that lady got stabbed through the neck. That was, and someone in makeup as well. Like, put money and time into killing her. And then one lady random who's not going to live, and then... But that also means there's a guy on sickbay deck as well, so why hasn't that guy just walked to sickbay and shoot? Because you don't get the sense much time passes. I'm not overly going to give them benefit of the doubt that Jack walked the halls for 30 minutes as Guy. No, he had
no,
that was the sickbay corridor, and I don't know why this guy didn't go in and just shoot them and grab Jack.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Basically, the scene is her just saying, you know what, I could do all this stuff to the ship and the crew, but it's just easier if you just turn yourself in, Jack. We'll be on our way, and these people can return to their thing. Just think about that. Come to the bridge. It's basically what she's saying here.
Well, how many people get killed in films and the person gives themselves up anyway? It's like, did those 4 people have to die? But of course, the logic being, if Jack did come to the bridge, she'd murder everyone then and there because she's done. So you might lose 4 crew, but you might save 9 crew.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. She's not going to let them live.
But then we get to cut back to the strike. We get to Deanna and Riker, which is a fantastic scene. Well, stop being dramatic, and the whole "I missed you, Amzadi," and she's like, "I wish I would have taught you another word."
It's been 35, 40 years. One word.
Yeah. And then she's like, he asks about the other changeling. And she's like, he was pretty charming. He was good in bed and bad with pizza. He's like, oh, just like me. And a lot of people got confused and thought she slept with the changeling, which is implied, obviously. But right away she says, yeah, I knew they were imposters the moment they arrived. So, yeah. She was just joking around with them, which I thought was kind of funny. Because the first time I watched it, I'm like, did she really? How long were they there? Like a month? Oh, no. Okay. And she just continued on with Yeah, so
because there's two contexts. One, which is the audience reaction, and two, what is the actual character's internal banter. Because she, if you read it as the scene says, I screwed a changeling who I knew wasn't you, because because it's implied, if I had revealed I knew it wasn't you, they would have taken me. So I had to have sex with him to show that I was being fooled to get through their plan. I mean, clearly what the scene's telling you, she doesn't laugh, he doesn't laugh. Like, it's a really weird scene, but it's like...
He laughs. He chuckles and goes, just like me, huh?
But the pizza, though, like not the sex bit, it's a really, really weird scene, but you just kind of take it as they just have really kind of gross jokes to each other.
Yeah, it's something that's what me and Sylvia would do in the same situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but I'm not. She should play it a bit more for laughs. But it's definitely out of left field. Makes you think, oh, I guess she had sex with a changeling. But also,
Yeah,
imagine she's really pissed off with him. Well, I guess it depends. I guess if the changeling had come after... It'd have to have come after he'd phoned her and said, hey, I'm coming home, babe. But what's interesting, though, is that she says... Because, I mean, she is an MVP in this scenario, right? She says, I could barely read changelings. Well, there you go. You're a changeling detector. Because if Tuvok's in the room...
She goes on to say, but these ones were different. And he's like, yes, I know, evolved. He reiterates the evolved physiology.
But that's not... But I didn't get it as a... Therefore I can read them more. I just took it as, I sense they're different. Like,
yes, but different than a regular changeling, so I wouldn't know what that feels like.
Sure, but if she was in a room with Tuvok, she would be able to sense a real Tuvok brain with all the emotions of a Vulcan versus somebody who's not Tuvok, who's still a changeling. Like, she clearly... Because if she knew they weren't that person straight away, like, she can't have been in the season, because she would instantly take out the issue of who's a changeling, because she'd know. You know? Which is good. I mean, it makes sense. She's a good detector. I mean, any empath should be, I mean,
especially somebody you've been married to for years. Yeah.
Well, for sure, but we didn't have an empath on DS9 to know what they're thinking. And did Loxana know what? I don't know. I think Loxana didn't know what Odo was thinking, because
she didn't know what he was thinking. That's why she found him so appealing.
Yeah. So it's a really useful person, but they should just have a changeling on board. Like, look at everybody. Are you a changeling? Well, I sense things from you. So you're not a changeling. That's why she's not in the season as well, because she's too powerful.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
But then, yeah, it goes to the whole Picard probably has a plan, because we give him the compromised codes. Cut to his awesome plan, and she's like in the chair, like, this chair's really comfortable. I'm going to take this with me.
Well, they keep joking about the chair. Like, every actor, every character. It's good. It's fine.
Yeah.
She loves her chairs.
This is where Shaw is like telling Hansen, you should have done what I said. Instead of, you're a Starfleet officer, follow orders, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And she stands up herself and says, my name is 709. So, there you go.
Now, people are bringing up him about the
chicken. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, just the idea that he does absolutely nothing. Nothing in this scenario at all. And he's a Starfleet officer who has a long career. Yes, he's an engineer captain, but whatever. He doesn't even try. To escape. So my question is, why? And are we meant to be okay with that? Do you know what I mean? Like, what did you think? Did that cross your mind at all?
Did not, no.
Because he's, if this was any other captain of any other Starfleet, we're thinking, where's the plan? He obviously does nothing. Like, he's not planning, he's not scheming, there's no dialogue, he stood there. I mean, his crew's looking to him for solutions, and he has nothing. I mean, you would not trust this man now to be your captain, because he has zero ability to have a problem. It was kind of worrying, actually, how limited he had. I know you couldn't necessarily give time to the character, but, like, captains are meant to be the creme de la creme, and he is not a good captain based on this episode. At least in a scenario like this, which is, ship takeover. Or do you think I'm totally off base?
You're kind of off base, not totally.
Yeah,
I mean, he literally
throwing
knows
out that side, so throw me the opposite side. Throw me the. I would like to hear
he
your.
literally knows that there's nothing he can do at this moment. He's waiting for his opportunity, but you never get a sense that he's building towards anything. He's a captain. He's been in situations like this before. He's taken the no-win scenario. He's doing what he can. When it comes to his crew being assassinated in front of him, there's not much he could do again. He could protest, get a phaser to the face. His face is already beat up, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation either. Like that's I don't know. I don't have any less respect for Shaw based on this.
I don't have less respect necessarily either. It's just weird. It would have been nice
to
have
kind of weird.
Because the actor says
some kind of lunge. I wish he lunged at Vatic or something when she was walking around with the phaser, and that got thrown to the ground or something. That would have been better. But
yeah, because the actor says to her, "Don't do anything. There's nothing you can do." He should have said, "Don't worry, I've got a plan. If Picard fails, I've got a plan."
Yeah,
it's just a bit weird. Like I said, you compare this to how a Kirk or a Picard or even a Riker would deal with it, and he'd be planning and doing something, and they could have spent time. They spent the first 15 minutes with this scenario. They absolutely could have spent a bit of time on that.
Yeah, they could have. Just 1 or 2 lines is all it needed. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's okay. It's just, like I say, he's definitely not as interesting a character now, I would say, overall. But a coward, I mean, not a coward, just ineffective.
Yeah. Jarzia throws in $5.50.
Thank you.
And says, "My read on Shaw is that he knows Vatic has effectively won, and anything he tries to do will get more of his crew killed." That's kind of the vibe I got as well, but
again,
I'm in between on both arguments on this one.
I mean, imagine if Kirk just took it. It's like, nope, you got my ship. I'm just gonna stand by. Just take it. It's like, no, he would. Obviously not. There's literally a dozen episodes of TNG where this situation happens, and then there's a plan. Literally.
Yeah. Then we get Jack in sickbay saying, I'm not a changeling. I've never been a changeling. I've never changed for anything before. Going on saying, I can see stuff. I can connect with people. And Sydney chimes in and says, yeah, it's true. He did this to me earlier. And then it's the idea of we can use this to our advantage in this situation. So this was an interesting conversation. And I think pretty well done. I like that Sydney was kind of like, yep, it's true. Because I've seen shit that would, Anyway. And then we get the explanation from Picard that in the event of a hostile takeover, high-ranking Starfleet officers are given an override codex to lock down the ship and all its systems. So, think you can help us with that? And that's where the whole plan comes from, essentially. So,
and it's such a fine balance of having a because I could take over the ship. Sure, you can. But there's that appropriate level of, what are you thinking? Tell us, you crazy kid. But then they do accept he has powers all of a sudden. Like there's we don't waste so much time on the potential of like you said, they don't string that along, right? They accept it, they move on, good, because that's come from nowhere, right?
Yeah. But
that's okay because we need to move on. We need to have progression. So that worked quite well. And the code is good, although, as I said out loud in the second watch, I said, oh, I guess Picard still is active admiral, like an active admiral, because only an active admiral's code would still be effective to turn off a random ship in the fleet that, like...
Well, as far as we know, he's still the commandant of Starfleet.
No, well, he is, but that means he must still have an admiral rank as well, for that code to still be fleet-wide. This is not an intentional... He's not meant... He wasn't even given temporary command. He's just some guy who was an admiral once. His code still works, so he could take over the ship at any moment. So those efforts that say, oh, he's not really an admiral, it's like, no, he clearly is a full admiral still. His rank still has all the weight of the computer. So bloody,
Well, maybe we should go back to the first episode of Shaw where he says, Picard says something about an admiral, and he's like, not active admiral, or what? I forget exactly what he says. And then Riker's a captain without a command.
Yes.
So I don't know. We should go back and listen to that. So anyway, I don't know.
But I just like the fact that it's still an admiral.
Yeah.
Nope. Still works. Because that shit would be turned off instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spaceport puts in £2.
Thank you.
They have no idea. They had no idea Shaw would be popular. It seems. Oh, I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they did.
Yeah. They knew. They knew. I mean, but it's not about him. The fact that he's had as much as he has shows they did know he was going to be popular, and they had enough confidence in him to appreciate, etc.
Yeah.
No, I think that's all fine.
Anyway, dude gets taken over on the bridge and starts putting in the code without looking, which is quite a skill in and of itself. Almost gets to the override button before Vadic catches him. She's like, "How did you know his code? Oh, Jack, my boy,
Jack,
it's you in there, isn't it,
Jack?"
Yeah,
she's so intense. Although, boy, Titanic vibes. Jack.
Like half that movie is just screaming
Rose!
Jack and Rose.
Jack!
Yeah.
Rose! Jack! Yeah, on the window. I thought this was great, though. I love the simplicity of the scene, the way it was framed. I love the actor, like, the most steely face possible. I kind of, and this is such a small note, but the fact that Seven's, like, I wish we'd seen Vadic go, just the fact that they were so surprised that's the giveaway, because if everyone's suddenly turning away from it, it's a giveaway.
Well, if Seven, I saw her see him obviously, but there's the stupidest goddamn thing to do in that situation to be like, "What are you doing?" I'd be like, "Okay, there's shit going on. What's happening?"
But
I wouldn't draw attention to it, but in any way.
Bit confused, yeah. Especially as they're out of options, etc. But I really like this scene, actually, and the way he grabs him right the last second. And it's fun, and I really like the fact that Vadic knows everything. That was a nice nuance to this, because although she's out of the season now, will be a henchwoman with a personal grudge, but she knows about the powers, about the Red Door, about the voices, everything. So that's interesting to who, what, where Jack really is. So that I liked that. I thought that was a nice little mini twist.
Cosmo says, "Okay, let me be the first to mention Jack is the male equivalent of a Mary Sue." Absolutely 100% not. Mary Sue's, by definition, know everything and are great at everything. Jack is not. He's shown a lot of fumbles and foibles. He doesn't even know he has these powers. He's not at all in any way a Mary Sue. I'm going to really hardcore disagree with you there, Cosmo.
Yeah,
the way you said it, you could be being facetious.
I
just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said a Mary Sue. I mean,
not at all.
Because he was in pain, thorough pain when looking at the mirror. Like this is what he can do is not voluntary per se. Like it's come on to him. Yes, he could kill 4 changelings in 35 seconds using John Wick power, but then also he's broken by his own abilities and he doesn't like them, and he barely got out of the thing on the Helios. Like he's good at what he does, but he's not a science guy. No.
Oh no! What happened?
Nothing. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Just
yeah. Ray Ricks, though, £5. Shaw has basically handed the situation to Picard and TNG crew. I did feel Shaw should be talking more, but maybe he didn't want to ruin other plans. Could be, but again, it's his ship. Like even him handing, well, he was critically injured at the time, but you got us into this mess. You're getting us out to Riker. If he wasn't injured, that would have been a cop-out move, I think. But considering the circumstances, I think it was good. Maybe he is relying on the experienced admiral and the other experienced captain, legends, to get them out of the situation. Sure, you'd hope they'd be weaving plans in the background while you're on the bridge, but it's still your ship. So
I mean, all those people, doesn't matter what other admirals or captains come aboard, those crew are your responsibility. So the fact that he did nothing and people got massacred, that's on him. Sadly, as annoying as that is, that is the point of a captain. He could have tried, would have failed, but he didn't even try. And letting the big boys do it when you're responsible. But they didn't have time for him to do stuff, I guess. But anyway, he's not in the episode really, so to call him out for that, he's not really there. So why call him out for not being there?
Yeah.
Now this scene, this is great though. Is this the scene?
Yeah.
Oh, it was later.
Yeah. She puts the two on their knees, and asks them for their name, and then goes to the other guy and says, "What's your name?" Or "Tell me something." And she's like, No. Tell me about someone that loves you. He talks about his son. He's like, "Oh, your son, like Picard's son. Come to me, Jack." Yeah, very well done. Very well played.
Yeah, this is definitely her. This is the swan song scene for her, I think. Because she's good at the physical. Because she's not really been menacing per se. She's not really like that body language necessarily. But this scene is she's good at psychological torture. She's good at making you feel, and you, as the audience, you don't know who she's going to murder. Like as I said in another review, normally you have heroes, secondaries, guest actor, unknown extras. There were 3 people we don't know on that bridge. Convention dictates you have person we know, person we don't know, guess who's dying. But you play it for drama. This was 2 people we actually like. And to kill a third is absolutely twisting that torture mind thing very effectively. And the fact that we care about these 2 after almost no screen time is effective. Well done them. And, really, really well played scene. And, yeah, because you want to break... It's not about Jack only. It's about breaking these people. Because if they...
Yeah.
Genuinely, any of you could get killed at any moment. These stakes are real. I love that as a twist. It was very well thought out, and it was given the right amount of time. Although you didn't cut to a Shaw reaction shot really. Again, he wasn't there. I'm cutting to his shot, and he's just like. So, he's done pretty poorly this week. Yeah.
Again, it's not about him though. So. Anyhow. Yeah. So she does this. People are drawing references to Air Force One and to Negan from Walking Dead. Yes, this is a trope that's been used quite a few times. I got more of a Star Trek 3 vibe.
Oh God, yeah.
Walking behind everybody with a knife. Sure was a little more shocking, the quick turn of Tavine, which is sad because I honestly would have preferred the other girl got killed personally. But it is what it is. It was just such a surprise and a shock. It's like, oh my God. And I feel really bad. Really bad for the actress because if they do get a Titan show, it'd be like, oh my, seriously? But anyway, yeah, very good, insane villain vibes. And then just to have 7 announce, she just killed Lieutenant Tavine. And the reactions from everybody down in sickbay was...
Yeah.
And this other poor lady, thinking she was going to die and just, wow, traumatized.
That's often worse torture, because if they'd shot her, she'd be dead.
Yep. Yeah.
And she thought yeah.
And the whole, Jack, come here, or we'll have to repeat this little exercise again and again and again. It's like, wow.
I think they're going to do, we saw how LaForge's other daughter reacted to seeing her own dead body. I think this alien is going to have to change her hair for the next episode because of seeing a minute death. Oh wait, no hair. Sorry, side joke there. No, really, really good scene, and vicious.
All right,
but again, why is she just standing there on the bridge? I know she says send officers, but they don't do anything practically. So she's not very talented. Clearly, you don't sit on your bridge when there's only so much of the ship. And you've got internal sensors, which I don't remember being turned off at any point.
I think that was the whole take their eyes, take their ears, because ears was communication.
Oh, yeah.
Eyes was probably sensors.
But wouldn't it be good if you had them, though?
Exactly. I don't think she has access to them because she didn't get the command codes. she's still effectively locked out.
I wish they'd
of
said
the
that
ship.
and said they were bluffing. I wish
I hear
they
you.
didn't say
I
that.
hear you.
But they do say, just quoting Star Trek 3, I love that, you know. They've killed this person right in front of me. Same performance, same line. Lovely vibes.
Yeah.
In the murder, you know.
All right. Scotchy Scotch though throws in $10.
What a name.
The Jack in the Box mystery has been so slow.
Yeah.
I am worried they're going to pull a Pulp Fiction suitcase and say, "Oh, it doesn't matter what exactly is behind the door." They wouldn't do that, though, right? I don't think Terry would do that, honestly. He doesn't like criticism, and he's kind of crafted something really good here. To fumble like that at the finish line, I don't think they're going to do that. No.
Well, I mean, we're skipping a little bit to the end, but I have huge expectations now.
That's the thing. It's hard to live up to the build-up that this has been.
8
It's gotta be
episodes.
some amazing reveal.
It really genuinely has to be very, very good.
Yeah.
And if it's not, it'll be genuinely quite disappointing.
Yeah.
Because it is the entire season, and you know, it's we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, next scene is again Will and Deanna talking.
Yep.
And this was the whole.
Yep.
You tried to take my pain from me. You took away the last little bit of them that I had.
Yes,
And she's
Cyborg.
like, no.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, I wanted to carry that with you, like to help you.
Yeah,
But then as a
Kirk. Jesus.
As a counselor, I should have known that you can't skip to the healing part. You need to go through the whole process, and it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was great. And then the hug, and it's like, oh yeah, great.
And this is better on second viewing, because first time I didn't quite connect that she actually did that in the past. It was played off like, because it's telling it, this happened like 5 years ago, so it's new information to us, but they're playing it like it's old information, because it is, but they haven't talked about it. So the idea that, yeah, Diana would actively manipulate her husband's brain forcefully and change his brain chemistry, even temporarily, you can see why he reacted all the ways he did, because he was being, you know, mentally changed. It's harsher than it needed to be, in a good way, though. Because it's like, yeah, how do we react to this? But you also feel for both sides, you know. She, of course, felt more.
Yeah, she said she felt the pain of everybody and herself.
But it didn't mean that she was right in removing Riker. 'Cause I love what you said. You know, you took away the last thing I had of my son was the pain and feelings. That's
either Frida's. I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain.
That's what you're saying. There's obviously a parallel there, but it's so true, and it's eloquent. You know, like it's important.
Then they go on to talk about Louis on Nepenthe and how neither one of them likes it. They did it for Thad, and now they're kind of both just stuck there, thinking the other one was happy there. And I love that they mentioned Nepenthe, because literally the day before Mandalorian, Nepenthe is in the Mandalorian. Something completely different, but the exact same name. It's like, what were the odds? What were the odds of those two airing a day apart?
I mean,
we haven't heard
nothing.
Nepenthe for
None.
a while. Exactly.
No chance. I mean,
just the fact that Star Wars used Nepenthe was interesting.
And not even differently said. The exact same thing you say.
Exactly the same pronunciation. Totally different thing though. It's not a planet in Star Wars.
It is a great name though. That is a great. Yeah. No, and that was I've gotta feel like it was a dig on season 1, because they seem so genuinely content there. Because that's how they're playing it. They're playing as actors. They're given this line of, yes, we moved on from Starfleet. Because remember, at that point, Riker wasn't in the finale. So, that was a reshoot and then another reshoot. So that was just them being this lovely respite. They're living their life away from Starfleet. And we all liked it for what it was. But it's like, I mean, they would still be doing things. And so for them to say 2 years later, oh, I fucking hate that place. Basically. Like it's, you know, now I've said that, does it feel like an active diss on season 1? Like, these are bad ideas. That's been
yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of shots at previous seasons, and 100%.
And it's true. The way she just says, "I miss people," because that's so goddamn true. If you're an empath, if you're used to the voices in a passive way, being alone on a planet with woodpeckers and your husband and your daughter with all the bloody teen angst, I can imagine you missing. You know, you're on ships your entire life. And I'm sure since her family was famous and rich on Beta Z, you always had servants and a bigger life, right? She's used to.
I miss the city. Yeah, I miss the angry, happy people.
Yeah, obviously, I love that, and I don't think we're going to get that at the end of the season necessarily, but to see them back on a Starfleet world, maybe Earth, in a really alive place, because any author, most authors would feel like, oh, I can't take these two characters from season 1 and say they got over it, now they're back in Starfleet. They would say, no, we've got to stay the course, right? But now, Terry has unlocked these characters to work in future canon as being, we can go back to anything again. And thank goodness. Because losing Riker and losing Troi, ostensibly, was a really... Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a long answer, but yeah.
That's fine. But it moves to the next scene where somebody's coming and it's like, you get your hands off her. And then all of a sudden, dun, 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 Worf comes in and saves the day. And beautiful scene, because we've kind of almost forgotten about Worf. But they decided to board the Shrike instead of the Titan and save the day, which is great. And I love the whole, him talking about how her guidance over the years essentially has made him a better person. He looks at her advice and all this, but more in like a lustful kind of way. And Riker's like, inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And then, is this a rescue or is this just continuing the torture? It was hilarious.
Is this just a rescue or are you happy to see me?
Exactly. There you go.
That's kind of what I thought.
She should have said, is this a rescue or are you just happy to see her? Yeah.
See? It was logical. No, I mean, this my MVP of the episode, because Michael Dorn's just fantastic. He does genuinely underplay it, which is, he's just earnest, he's just being, but he's definitely underplaying what he could be. But you haven't seen these people together since Nemesis, and he's barely in Nemesis, despite having a scene involving intimate touching, brain, like there's an intimate scene, right? With their father Quantums, it's quite personal, right? But yeah, of course, we had this one bit of them together in All Good Things. Riker clearly, well, he's not secure feeling, but I mean, he's had some real shit with his wife recently on both their sides. So, and here he comes in as a swashbuckling guy. I love her earnestness of like, well done, you. Because I'm sure they talked over the course of the TNG films. It's really nice. And again, this makes me want to have more of them. These sorts of moments. I wouldn't have thought to write this, but I'm so glad they did.
That's great.
Because we've had Riker and Troi back, and we've had Worf back in DS9, but never the three together. Never that vibe. That was really nice.
Casey Stewart, Casey Stewart says, I disagree. Batman was the MVP of this episode. Well, we'll get to that in a second, but I want to address this because this is... You've got to remember, in All Good Things, Worf and Riker were at odds over the relationship that Worf had with Deanna without asking
and her death. It was how they handled her death.
Exactly. But they addressed it in both, because this is the exact same time, just in different timelines, essentially. Yeah. So I love that they kind of did this scene. Absolutely. To address their relationship, all three of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it. And like I said, not what I think I would have written, and that's the point. It was clever. And I forgot to mention this earlier. Vadic's set, while normally okay, I thought the lighting and the colours were great for these scenes. The way they shone the light, the fractals in the walls, I thought that was all looked really nice and very, very visually popping. And ironically, Stuart, this prison cell felt brighter than the bridge of the Titan. At least Vadic has lights. But anyway, back to the outside of the ship, as with all... Oh yeah, they got a cloaking device, Stuart, which you were confused about, and I didn't even think twice of.
Yeah, I was confused, but apparently, yes, they just took the one from the Bounty, put it on the shuttle, so they could go find out if Riker was captured by Starfleet intelligence, then came back, and then reinstalled it on the Titan later.
Yeah.
So,
was anyone else confused?
A few people were.
Yeah, they don't say it, but it's which for me made a lot of sense. That of course one ship is stuck in a graveyard, trying to not stand out when a cloak could obviously be useful. Versus we have to go and actively search for stuff a cloak would be thoroughly useful. And I would imagine that you could change, like a cloak would be more effective on a smaller ship, even if it was an older cloak. It would hide more. Because that's a Burrell bird of prey cloak.
As we talked about, it could be that the power was too much for the smaller ship. That's why you could see the shimmer. So if it was too powerful for a small shuttle, it could be like very obvious that it's there. I don't know. But those kind of address like.
But then, do you think that a shuttle of this era has more power generation ability than a Burrell of that era?
So.
Yeah. Which I almost as if they would address that, like, wow, it would be very ineffective in those days, but now with all so many little things you could do.
Yeah. All right, it's a good time to mention that we have 220 people here and 147 likes. We're still 3 likes away from that 150 that I wanted, but now that we have 200 people, I want to get to 180 likes. So hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And yes, keep super chatting in. Let us know your thoughts about this episode. And we're coming up to the data stuff and soon, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to talk about. So please put in your thoughts now. We do read them all.
But before we soonly get to the data stuff,
talk about the lore of our poll.
With
268 votes.
Ooh.
The data speaks for itself. Episode 7.
Alton Sung!
Which episode do you enjoy more? Episode 8, Vatican bye-bye. Or episode 7, yeah.
Yeah. That's one of our higher polls as well. Normally it's like, really? Only 85%? 90, yep. Good job.
Yeah. Let's go to a new poll and hit the like button, everybody. Let's try to get to 200 likes. Screw it. You know what? I said 180. I want to get to 200. It's just that simple. I hit 200 last night on my first reaction live, so it should be a no-brainer here. I didn't have near as many people, so either I'm better by myself. No reaction from Sam.
Sorry, I'm writing a poll. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. It's fine. Just proved my point. I just can't do it, Captain. I have no more likes to give. I know, you can only hit it once, unfortunately. Anyway, let's see. What are you guys saying? Yes, confirmed, it's Captain Worf. Yeah, well, we kind of thought as much, so it's not a big deal. Not like he's captain with his own ship, though. When people think of Captain Worf, they want to imagine him captaining a ship. I think he probably got it after DS9 when he left and went to work with Martok. Even though he wasn't in the Starfleet, he probably got like a commendation for captain.
Okay, yeah. Apologies for the slightly weird wording, but it's hard to frame this. So read out and what you'll think.
Are you glad Data version 2.0 is alive versus dead from Nemesis and Picard season 1? Should Data stay dead or alive? I prefer him dying in Nemesis for good. How he dies in Picard season 3 is the best. Or Data's alive, he should be alive. Yeah. I love that was addressed too. Like, I know the last time we spoke that you wanted to die. I hope that's bringing you back to, disrespect your wishes. No, that version means resting peacefully. I love that, because if that wasn't addressed, if that line had not been put in, people would have been like, that was very disrespectful to Data's character, because, he wanted to die. But Terry knew what Trek fans are like, and he's like, we're going to put that line in. And all through this season, you've seen that. Little lines here and there that answer the nitpicks and questions that the fans are going to have.
They're not nitpicks, they're big. I mean, that's
I know, but that's how a lot of people see them.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. I love that Terry knows enough to do that. I think that's very well crafted, so kudos to him. All right. So, yeah, now we get the whole trying to get around the lockouts that they have. And Sydney's like, it'll take me a year. It'll take my father a few months. What we really need is an asynchronous AI matrix capable of computational speeds beyond 90 trillion operations a second. What a coincidence. We have one on board. Right? So they all four of them, like the storm on down to where Geordi is in the hallway, I guess, and just waiting for the change over to the picture that was storming down there.
You see, your son is so confused, like a changeling, Stuart. But luckily,
I was waiting.
Luckily, you're not the biggest native against wine, so you can't be a changeling. Yes, boy, definitely a wah moment of we need this, this, and this. If only we had this, it's like.
And the 90 trillion computations, which has been mentioned before with data.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Wow.
Yes. Yeah, they come in guns blazing. The famous scene from the trailer, one of the few ones we haven't seen yet.
I love the whole 6 years ago you bought me a gift to my anniversary. What is it? And then again, another shot at Picard. A Chateau Picard Bordeaux, which you said was too dry because your taste in wine is pedestrian at best. Yeah, definitely Picard.
And is that him saying you agreed at the time your wine knowledge is basic? Or is that the inner monologue of Picard saying, oh, you hate it because you're basic? Is that a Picard dig? Or is that a Geordi said at the time? Because Geordi's quite an honest guy.
It's hard to say. I thought it was what Geordi said at the time. Like, I think it's too dry, but I don't know much about wine. Is what it came off.
It's funnier as an inner monologue, though.
It is.
Because then only real Picard would be like, you.
Well, it lines up. It lines up with I need your help, even though you are just a dipshit from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's, he'd been holding it in for 6 years, sort of vibe. You hate my wine. I'm calling you out. We're in mortal danger. I like that. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Here's the scene you have a problem with. We need to retake the ship.
It's so quick.
Well, he does say, we can't do that because if we do that, maybe lore will completely erase data. And then ethical subroutines, he can't kill anybody in any form of life. And then, yes, Sydney says, Dad, we're out of options. All right, this is going to take some time, though. Yeah. I think it was played well. You see, like, a little bit of hesitation, and
it's so quick.
Like 1 or 2 lines in there, and then it just kind of like, boom.
It's just when you say the words like, I can't, I won't. Okay, fine. Like
I do that all the time, though.
But not in 1 second. You really needed one moment, and it'd just be a close-up. Because the way the daughter says we have to would have worked better if there's a close-up on her, and her eyes are like...
Oh, look, the chat's blowing up with hearts and stuff. I like that it does that now.
Oh, well, that's cool.
There's like heart reactions, and somebody did 100% earlier. That's really neat. Who's doing that? Why are you doing that? Stop it. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so I just... I needed a close-up of, like, seeing how much the daughter knows the data means to Geordi as a way of emoting. I know this is probably going to kill him, because the entire time, Geordi said, Data's not going to win this battle. And in fact, and it seems way worse the second time, Geordi says, because Picard says, what if we lower the barrier? And Geordi says, if we do that, then Law might...
No backups. There's no backups.
Law might take over. And Picard says... But actually, it could be the other thing that Data could take over. And it's like, it could, but you haven't suggested anything. It's like saying, Stuart, let's go out for tacos, but I'm drunk. But what if you weren't drunk? That's fair, let's go. Like, we're not changing anything in the scenario. They don't do anything except take it down. So everything Geordi thought might happen, they don't even try one iota to help. It's a very weird scene. It makes you think there's a plan, but there's not a plan.
It's more like let's say you don't have your driver's license.
Stuart, I can drive. My God, news.
All right, cool. So we both have our driver's license, yeah. And it's like, Samuel, you can drive.
Yeah.
But we might get in a car accident, and then somebody else says, you know what, maybe Stuart should drive because he's got way more years experience behind the wheel. You still might get into an accident, but it's more likely that you're going to not. It's the same thing, because Data's had a lot more years behind the wheel of being Data than Lore ever had of being Lore. So is evil greater than good? Because evil is all Lore has going for him. He doesn't have all the years of continuous being on that Data does. Close, but not the same. It's the same kind of analogy.
But why... But that's two people, though. It should more be one person's car. I don't know how you would exactly reframe it, but I do know what you mean. But why was Geordi emphatically no in every other scene?
Because he doesn't want to lose his friend again. He said
exactly,
that.
and therefore there has to be a higher percent of chance that it doesn't work. Very high percentage, because he's
Yeah.
a guy that would need to be a 60, 70, 80% chance.
Because they know lore. They've seen what he can do.
Exactly.
He doesn't care for who. Like, he
Because
get rid of his brother in a second.
I kind of assumed, I kind of wish they had said this. I wish Picard had said, all we have to do, Geordi, is remind Data who he is. Let's feed in the memory banks of Commander Data into this android. Flood him with memories, which would explain why he's suddenly getting all these member berries, because he's being flooded with logs. Then they would have been helping. It's like if you
Yeah,
have
I
a
like
coma
that.
patient and you're doing music or talking to them. Like, that's all I needed. That's why I kind of thought the first time, because I kind of didn't hear Picard fully, I thought what they were hearing was the outer monologue of people talking to him who would help bring him out of it. We didn't get that. It's not there. Would have been a slight improvement in my mind, but we're there to move on, right? This is not the most important thing. We just have to get to the double Brent scene.
Yeah. Sean T throws in $2. Crusher's appearance reminds me of Firestorm Phoenix.
What's that?
Don't know. I think it's a comic book reference.
Okay, sorry.
It's just her hair. Anyway, yes. Laura starts taunting Data, saying, "Hey, your friends are going to take this partition down. You know what's going to happen then? I'm going to take over." And he's like, "Oh, reminiscing, are we? All these little trinkets you collected, and you got the Holmes hat and the pipe." But yeah, I think this scene was really well played. I just wish that Laura would have been. If they de-aged him and had it look good, it would have been made more sense for him to be a younger version. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, they're in the same body, though. That's not Law.
I know.
Law doesn't have a body. He hasn't had a body in 30 years. So it does make sense he'd be this body.
I know. It makes perfect sense. I'm just saying.
Right.
Thematically, with the way this is, because this is literally
like almost do a click and just, this is how it should look. Right. Yeah, I get you there.
Yeah.
A reverse cue.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. And this is I do like all of this, right? But having rewatched it the second time, I kind of wish the way they'd framed it was the way it's framed right now is that we zoom into the brain, Data is not engaging with Law, he's confused feeling as if he's just woken up, and Law's like, "Hey mother effer, I'm doing this." But this has clearly been the status quo since they reactivated him 5 hours ago on Daystrom. I wish we'd cut into them arguing, like, mid-conversation to show, like, we've hung out for the last 5 hours, because there was a battle going on the entire time. They play it like a fresh reset, but it should be hours and hours and hours in, especially as Law beat Data to the control of the body, and Data beat Law. As it's just a slightly, like, fresh start, but they weren't reactivated. He's been on the entire time. Small note, but the members are good. I like Sherlock Holmes. I honestly wish for more. That would have been nice. Because, you know, every scene here is gold. Seeing Brent as Data, in uniform, like, everything is gold. Wish we had a bit more of it. And thank goodness they're in full uniform and not just some civvies, right? Like, this is so much more valuable to have them in gold, you know? Where some shots you can forget they're not in a weird new uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I like how he ends out here by saying, you know, what's going to happen is I'm going to replace you, as I always could have. It's evolution, dear Watson, instead of elementary, dear Watson.
And he's totally harnessing how he performed it back in 1987. Yep. And it's great that I associate. Oh wow, Law performed like Sherlock Holmes. We're like, well, no, no. Brent played like Sherlock Holmes, like he did. Like there's no,
yeah.
Because they played it so effective. I didn't even. It's the same guy, but I didn't. You know, obviously, right? Obviously, it's different characters, which shows how effective Brent is as a character actor. Same face and type and vibe.
But back on the Shrike, we get Picard's body.
Yes, we do. And Raffi.
Sure.
And they still don't use the tricorder lights.
I know. This is where they say, though, that they've cut out portions of his parietal lobe, sections that were infected with Irmotic syndrome. Why? We don't know yet. It's very quickly glazed over. That's an important plot point, but it's very quickly like, hey, how you doing? My name's Deanna. I'm Raffi. Hey, how's it going? It's like, seriously? We're doing this right now? Anyway, that'll be important for sure.
Yeah, it's the third time we've had that. I think as a
well, I think it's the second I remember, because the last one was that the aromatic syndrome was a misdiagnosed.
Well, I guess we reset it up when they talked about it in the bar the first time to put it in our brains, at least. Not identical, but we've been setting it up, which is good. Mention it for the audience. But yeah, I mean, this is the real Picard. They've kept good care of the body, given that he died randomly. I love the fact that the prop department gave Deanna and Riker Nemesis phasers, all the ones they had. They had 2 on set. So obviously Worf had like 3, like strapped to his hip, strapped to his arm, strapped to his legs. Nemesis phasers everywhere as we handed them out. I wish we'd seen them use them more because they're, phasers, real phasers.
Volk makes a good point. Is she a changeling? She just said it's me. Yeah, she did. You walk in. Trust me, it's me. Oh yeah, okay, it's fine. Yeah.
Because she's not that important. And
with the way the snarkiness, with the way that you said that, and it's such a snarky nature, of course it's you.
Yes. But they're all good in this scene. It adds the texture. I'll download the database. That's bloody important. Why is the ship not got any sort of security on the systems, just in case? It's that easy. Oh, actually, he's a hacker, but still.
Yeah, but the alarms go off. You've been discovered missing. We must return to the shuttle now, and they all book it out of the room.
Yep. And
I'm like, okay. And then later, the Shrike gets destroyed, and this was brought up quite a few times in my live last night. Did Picard's body get annihilated? I like your take on it, that they took care of the people coming, and then went back and maybe grabbed the body and put it in the shuttle. I still think that might be revealed in the next episode or 2. But yeah, I think it was a good call out because I didn't think that they took the body, but they very, very well could have. I just wish that 2 of them would have stayed behind while 2 of them left.
Yeah.
Instead. But
yeah. And again, Frakes and Marina, both Nemesis phasering. I hope they were like, oh, cool. Yeah, it's such a weird shot because they've always said most of the officers are brought onto the Titan. We only saw maybe 10, maximum 10, right? So if that's most, she's going to have under 5. They've already killed 1. He killed them instantly. They pose no threat, Stuart. None. Let's be honest, right? They probably either exactly number or outnumber those that are left. So you can easily say they just kill them and be done. Like, it would be very easy to say that. It really is very, very easy. So I hope they're going to say we're able to grab it quickly. Because this thing is guaranteed to be, like, on a hover track. To be able to move it from... So... It's not huge.
Yeah, I would like to have the reveal that they got put on the shuttle and is on the Titan.
There is enough leeway, I think, to do that. No. Otherwise, they've made a whole massive point of saving Kirk's body from being eaten by coyotes on a random planet. Now to kill Picard again, like his physical body, on a random ship, it feels very antithetical to what they were doing in the other... Not that I necessarily want the body to be saved, but, I mean, bury it in France...
Yeah. Anyway. Brian Harvard, though, throws in $5. I thought they could have de-aged him for the scene if they could have done it better than season 1. Since in his brain, he probably looked like the old Data. Oh, the Data scene? Yeah. I just think Lore would have made more sense to be de-aged because Lore definitely didn't like humans or aging. I thought it was a weakness. It would have been nice if that's what his projection of himself was, to be younger. But yeah. Yes, this is where there's another time to do another demonstration of her power, and this is where the turbolift is active because Jack said, "You know what? I can buy you guys some time." Jack shows up on the bridge. And
here he is. I did it. We're fine.
This is so great. I'm sure you would decline my invitation. Oh no, my mother taught me better manners than that. And I even brought you a gift. My God, he's holding a thermal detonator. Come on, everybody thought that.
Yeah.
I actually know what that is. I have one of those.
No. What?
Yeah, I do.
What do you mean?
Hold on. I might be able to find it.
Holy hell. I'll talk about my thoughts on the scene then.
I might not be able to find shit.
What is that? Okay, I'll talk.
It's a little device. It's a gaming thing that has a display like that. and it's a 20 questions device. So yeah, it's a game thing. Hold on, I think.
Okay, I'll talk.
Yes, please do.
So yeah, it goes on the bridge. I certainly felt, hologram could be another EMH situation. Wouldn't have been. They've got Raffi. They had one. They could have a second one. That's not a problem. Given that it was very much like, don't go and don't go and find him. Don't go to the bridge otherwise. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, it's a good role reversal. It's a good little juxtaposition, and of course, the spoilers. Obviously, it's a shield. It's even more fun to have a, we never necessarily want to see our heroes use these big, powerful weapons. So therefore, shield. And hey, that adds a portable shield device to the arsenal of anyone who wants to make a fan film in this era, which is pretty cool because we've never seen it before. Trek reviewer. It should. I mean, it should have a transporter. Worf's the only proper phaser. Yeah, Worf and Raffi will hook up. Whoa, maybe. Probably not though. Surprise. Picard were not. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Oh, that's
not what I thought it was.
That's okay.
What did you say about this?
Just that it was a fun reveal. But I also thought he might have been another mobile emitter situation. Because to give up that quickly felt but that's the point, right? It plays to that. But I thought, given Raffi's back now, there could have been that twist. But then we cut straight back to the neural net, and they're watching it go poorly. And this is the last chance. And then, tricorder, Stuart. And I bet you that's an original tricorder, because it looks a bit naff. I'm pretty sure that's just... Because I know that they had a real tricorder, the prop guy from Season 1, and the famous quote was, it wouldn't look good on screen anymore, so I had to design a whole new tricorder to be a proto-tricorder. It's about having an original prop that would have looked like the original prop. And it's like, you arrogant son of a... They literally put a TOS phase in Picard Season 2 and it looked great, right? So I wish the scene was 5 seconds longer or opened, but I think that's going to be an original prop. But yeah, Laura is taking everything, which, as a payoff, works so much better. Now you know what's happening. The Data is freely giving all these trophies to Laura, and but it's just so sad to watch Data be so, not pathetic, but being hurt, being stabbed. It's genuinely kind of upsetting. Pays off really well, but it's not fun. And then of course you get the famous, hopefully now famous scene of Tasha Yar.
Yeah.
The hologram, Denise Crosby and Data are in the same scene together. Definitely a still frame from the footage from TNG. It would have been amazing if they'd been to play the message in the scene. That would have been even cooler. But his only ever love hookup relationship vibe. So it would be, as a giant summary of his life, this would be a moment. So I'm thrilled it was put on. It wasn't glossed over either. Both Law and Data highlighted it. It was there. It was reasonably well motion tracked. It's good. I wonder if Brent remembered what the prop was. Or had to be told. Because it's been decades. I wonder.
I would hope you'd remember, but
I remember too. But it's just a little crystal. It's a very basic prop. But I hope he did.
SVSGuro 2000, member for 17 months, the rank of captain, says it's a thermal detonator. Yes. Check your Facebook Messenger. I said what it was that I have.
Oh, that's great.
It's a little handheld game device thing, but it looks like they might have used something similar. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where Vatic, now on the bridge, the whole...
There is, guys.
Jack, like a jack in the box, ready to pop. Yeah, they've served their purpose. Lock everybody else in the briefing room. We got Jack up here. That's what we wanted. And this is where Seven ducks out. Now this is interesting because Vatic says to her, "How fitting it is for you to stay and witness this." Which is going to hopefully be the explanation of what's special about Jack. A lot of people have made the point that means that it's Borg related. I still resist Yep. I
Yep.
didn't even think about that before I said it, but I still resist the fact that this has anything to do with the Borg. I think that'd be too much of an easy, cheap cop out, and it's not going to be exciting. But the fact she said that to Seven is interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
It just felt like we need to make sure Jerry Ryan gets more dialogue to me.
It's exactly.
It's like we paid for her to put the makeup on, and she wants to have more dialogue, so let's make sure she can just say, "What? Don't do this!" Okay, right, off for the day, thanks. Yeah. That said, I mean, it's good to see her in scenes. I'm not going to necessarily diss that, but it's definitely just tonally strange. Shaw leaving the captain. He's a little bitch right now. Like, he's zero presence. Zero. So he's gone. I would think, personally, that this guard would shoot Seven as stun when she doesn't do the thing that she's been told to do. Personally, as a guard, I would do that. So that plays, like, we need her here because... But she's not in the scene in any meaningful way, really. But, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I was more taken up by the pace of this, you know, knowing everything, saying everything. The giant testicles on this actor.
There might be clues in this dialogue that she says.
There will be, but the giant testicles on this actor to say my character will touch the guy who's got the Bob's ear and be in literal grabbing distance. Boy, that was a play. Wow.
That ear thing was interesting because I thought she was the ears. Yes, they're the hardest to form because remember Odo had a problem with the ears, forming the intricacies of the ears.
I thought it saying. Your essence, remember? The Bajoran essence. I sense it. The pa.
The pa.
That I thought might have been a clue. Because this whole thing feels like it's gonna this is the scene, right? This is the scene where she knows it. Oh. There's a context to it. This has to have clues.
Like I said, I want to get into the dialogue.
Please do, yeah. It's
Before
good
we do that,
this is a good scene.
This is Jericho.
Yeah.
Member for 35 months of the rank of ensign. How do you not recognize Mr. Tricorder? Yes. Mr.
Tricorder. Yeah. Well, wrong tricorder. Yeah, that would have been a TNG tricorder. Wrong.
Chuck A, $2. Tasha's pose is different from TNG poses. Well, it's a holographic version of her. You could probably pose it to anything you wanted. But whatever.
Yeah. It's probably a press photo of Tasha they had.
All right. So this is great because Jack's like, well, seeing as you know so much about me then, why don't you indulge me? Tell me, flatter me. Because he wants to get the answers.
I mean, classic foil.
Yeah.
You know. Tell me the truth, you know?
She's like, oh, Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack Crusher. What's it like?
Jackie Jack.
Roaming from planet to planet, species to species, but never able to outrun that awful constant shadow of isolation, loneliness, a life in service to others, a calling. Or was it guilt? Did you always know deep, deep down what you are? Guilt, eh? Okay. Look, Vatic, at any point, if you want to stop talking, in batshit circles, I'm all ears. Yes, ears.
Yeah, didn't have batshit circles, that's funny.
Ears, yes. You have heard them, haven't you? The voices? What's that like?
Yes.
After years of solitude and silence, and finally so many voices, she even stutters.
Gosh.
I can help you put the pieces together, the answers. The choice is yours, Jack. Are you not curious to see what's behind that red door? And in fact, she knew about the red door.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Is it good? That's a good little speech. It's a very good little speech.
And then Hanson's like, what is she talking about? Oh, sorry, Seven. But yeah.
Now, I don't know about... Well, it wouldn't have been you, but you know that thing... Yeah, I think it's called Mandela Effect, where you think you hear something.
Yeah.
And I was sure, in the first watch, that she had said, you miss the voices like I miss the Great Link, implying he's a changeling. I heard it.
I thought the same thing.
She doesn't say it, though. Where the hell did I get that from?
It's implied with the way she acted, like
the
voices. But I thought I heard the word link there the first time as well.
So I was very confused by that. So take that away. I mean, I assume assume that she was told all this by the person, who is Jack Crusher? Well, he's a bioweapon that we made, and we made him see a red door so that he could go... I assume it was that easy an explanation of why she knows that. I kind of almost wish that she'd been given almost key phrases to trigger his deprogramming. So if we'd only seen the red door in absurdly subtle ways, and then suddenly she said red door, and like, bam, there's a red door behind her because he's hallucinating. Like, they could have put it that way. Like, Jason Bourne got turned on. Obviously not what happened. What do you take from this? Because it's a really, really dense little moment. What do you think?
I'm not sure. It threw me for sure, but the fact she knew about the red door, I think it's going to be linked into, like you said, the Bourne identity.
Great linked into?
Yeah, the Bourne identity sleeper agent kind of vibe. Like the red door is the activation.
It's got to be. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's the. It feels. I mean, it obviously it feels like it's a literal testament to this is holding back the knowledge. Once you walk through, you'll remember everything. Bosh.
Yeah. It's literally a flood of memories as soon as you open the door.
Yeah. And he's scared of it, and we'll get that to the end. It is worth noting that the door does have Starfleet deltas on it, on the sides, because none of the corridors. So it is Starfleet themed. We'll get to that at the end.
The Borg identity. That's great.
The Undine identity. That's one quite well. But it still doesn't tell us anything. She didn't tell us anything new, except that she knows what it is.
Oh. The isolation is focused on the guilt. Yeah. Have you been running and hiding because of guilt or whatever? And like, how does it feel to hear those voices again after all those years of being like? Yeah, it's implying that he was something else before, and then this consciousness was put inside the body of Jack, and now it's starting to emerge. I don't know.
Okay. Because that would link.
See, my thought, and this is my original idea. Nobody else has said this.
Copyright Stuart, 2000.
There's actually a young Q that's being born with inside Jack.
Wow.
And Q will return to be like, I knew you were special, Jean-Luc.
So John Delancey is currently inside this man.
No, not John Luc. No. But another Q or of an evolution of the Q or something is being inside Jack that's going to emerge. I don't think it's going to be Borg related because that's just too fucking easy and stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
That's interesting. A full entity. So the entity is giving him powers. So they're not his powers, the entity's powers.
Yeah, the entity is starting to come to its full form, and its powers are seeping out into Jack because it's too powerful. It needs to get out.
Yep. That's interesting. Well, that would Par-Wraithy linky, because Par-Wraith is a energy being. A472 wouldn't link. But we have seen genetic modification stuff, as you kept pointing out in the credits. That's not come up yet. Unless it's just the aromatic syndrome. So unless it's that, but
I think I could side to the aromatic syndrome somehow. Okay. But yeah.
That is genuinely very interesting though.
It could be that's why Q found Picard so intriguing, and it wasn't Q necessarily. It was it wasn't Picard necessarily. It was Picard's offspring that Q was interested in, but he didn't realize it yet.
Non-linear, yeah.
Yeah, so he felt something special, but it was the aromatic syndrome, which wasn't actually aromatic syndrome. And somebody has postulated this before, that Picard, this whole thing is a new life form coming about, an evolution for humans, and I don't know. Anyway.
No, yeah, loads of interesting things. But that the problem is that 2 episodes left. They've not given us one solid theory, which means they haven't set it up properly in a way that we could guess it. So it's going to be a big twist. But if it was going to be A472, you'd have to even mention them once. If it was Borg, you'd have to mention them more than the previous scene. There wasn't enough of that to really be a lead up. Nothing in particular has enough.
Well, 3 people in the chat just you got Nagilum, the Husuk, and Armus. I love the Armus thing because he was the all the bad things that were left behind by his species. And I
Yep.
love that he's liquid form. It could definitely be the changelings. I love that. The Armistice, even with Deanna later when she says there's a darkness on board, she was trapped in that shuttle and was basically acting as a counselor to Armis as he was holding her hostage. So there's a link between Diana and Armis, which could be why she senses the darkness. I don't know. I like the Armis idea very much, but I said Nagilum at the beginning of this once. I said it could be Nagilum, but yeah, I don't know. There's some great ideas and theories. The payoff better stick it though. Better stick the landing. That's all I'm saying. And as Carwin says, isn't it Beverly's voice saying "Come find me"? Yes, it is. In a lot of the subtitles, but it could be that it's just using a voice he recognizes or that he'll trust to lead him on. So it doesn't really mean much that it's Beverly's voice. So
yeah, it's really hard to base that on because they don't know that many. He doesn't know that many people who have. I don't know.
He only really trusts his mother because they've been together his entire life.
Yep.
So it makes sense to use her voice if you want to lead him into something, right? So.
Again, really tricky. There's not enough clues.
Armis is not too much of a deep dive. Armis would be perfect to tie TNG together, I think.
Yeah, Armis is, well, yeah. I mean, it was in lower deck. It's not that's going to factor in too much.
Yeah. Curse you.
Because it would be, he's obviously psychic. He learned. Anyway, maybe they used, some of Armis's DNA to make them the new changelings.
Yeah.
Don't know how or why, but maybe. Don't know. Again, I'm confused. But the fact that she's so confident, and here's the red door, and there is Starfleet deltas on the edges of the CG door.
Yes.
So it is Starfleet related, and we've said this before. He might literally be a Starfleet sleeper agent. It might be that simple. I said this weeks ago. He might be as simple as a changeling killer, genetically modified to be able to deal with a changeling threat. Because I would imagine that if you give him telepathic psychic powers, if he can't read into a changeling's brain, oh look, changeling, and if he's presented with 3 officers and he can't take one of them over, changeling. Like, it's almost a way of rooting them out by not being able to take them over. So maybe he's also a Starfleet engineered entity. I don't know why it would be, but
yeah. Check if your Armis does know both Dr. Picard or Dr. Crusher and Picard. Yes.
I wonder actually, because the timeline is all mucky on this. What if, after the scene we saw in the flashback episode, where he's at the bar and Picard basically rebukes him without realizing, what if at that point he says, "Fine, I must join Starfleet for my dad to love me. Like, I want to make that step." What if he does join Starfleet, but not as a cadet, as a something else, and then somebody grabs him because Picard's DNA, that's important. Bring him into a secret program because he's got medical knowledge, gets him like Jason Bourne, giving him this ability to be useful. Maybe they say there's a changeling, because it was only 6 years ago, there was a changeling threat already. Maybe he's offered that ability, and then he hasn't been activated yet. So that would link directly from that flashback.
I think that's a bit of a stretch, that one, for sure. But
they're all a bit of a stretch, my man.
A lot of people are saying that, like Deanna mentions, an ancient evil. Ancient, again, Pa Wraith, Armis. Everybody kept saying Red Jack. It's not going to be Red Jack. Red Jack is from TOS, Wolf in the Fold. Basically, it's a entity that passes itself on, and it was in Jack the Ripper. It kills people. It kills women. There's nothing indicating this would be Red Jack. He's not killing women. So I don't know why people have locked onto that.
But also, again, no hints.
Yeah.
No link.
But red door, red vines. See the connections, and his name is Jack, Red Jack. Maybe that's where people are getting it from, but that's just wow. Anyway.
Well, we'll find out in 6 bloody days, or we're gonna riot, Harry. But anyway, back to poker. That was nice. That was sweet.
Yes.
And you can feel Data's plan. Once you know, you can feel it here, I think.
Yeah, the whole, why are you giving these things to me? Because you have nothing, and I had everything. Yeah. I love that, because Lord said that earlier. He said, you got to experience friendship. You got to experience all this and not appreciate it because you didn't have any emotions. Yeah. And this is his play. He's like, I thought he was going to kill Lore with love. Lore was just going to realize, like, oh my God, you love me so much. You're giving me everything that you are. Which is kind of what happened, I guess. But
no,
Picard's like, I don't know much about anything, but this looks like surrender. Like, okay, well,
yes, those blue dots becoming red looks like surrender.
It's exactly right.
It's like someone going up to the Matrix screen and saying, "Oh, look at that steak! Look at that beautiful red dress." The guy's like, "No, that's some guy taking a shit." Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't read it unless you can read it. And Picard is no guy. But then he gets Spot, and this, I mean, I was kind of shocked how many feels I had from this. Because, of course, you can get an identical cat. So
the de-aging on it was great.
Yeah, I mean, clearly. Well, I actually said to the writer of the episode, I loved this episode's dialogue with Legacies, especially Spot. You got the dialogue for Spot perfect. Really nailed the vibe. But this is really nice, and it's again underdone. It's the simplicity of this creature showed me what I think love is. Like I experienced just more than I thought I could with this. It's great. It's really sweet, and it's also the last thing as well. So they say that in the scene is this is the last piece of me. It's the last memory, which kind of shows that one of the strongest things left. Unlike season 1, where we're forcing it that Data and Picard are best friends. Cat's more important to Data than Picard. It's Cat's last thing. Just saying. Yeah. Could have been Patrick that appeared in TNG costumes. Like, look.
Was he going to hand him a little Patrick Stewart?
Yeah, or grab him, just stroke his bald head and say, look, this is my Patrick Stewart. He's my favourite thing. No, Spot, obviously.
Yeah. Eric Epperling. Well, when did Seven see the vines? She didn't.
Nope.
And you're getting confused. The first time Jack saw it was when it was on the floor.
Yes. And
Seven was helping him up. He saw them behind her. She never saw the vines.
No one has. So. 100% in his brain.
Hold on here. Murray Nathan puts in $2, but message retracted.
Oh no.
Murray Nathan throws in $2 and says, behind the door is the real dad, Dr. Dalen Quace. That's the old man from the Warp Bubble episode. Kyle Wong throws in £5 and says, it's angry Will Wheaton in Jack's head. Well, we have this mystery to solve. We also have the floating head that's talking to Vatic as well. I love that it's Will Wheaton. I love Leslie Crusher. He's jealous that they have another son. And what is it with Beverly giving birth to special people? Because Wesley had the ability to do it with the Traveler. She was special, remember? Jack is obviously special. She's just a superhuman person, pumper outer. Paul D, though, $5. Iconian genetic engineering, ARG. No.
Bold?
Sure.
No connection so far? I mean, there's going to be stuff that makes sense in the long play, but it doesn't stand out. It's going to make sense, I just don't know what. But it's better than Tyler Vok. As long as it's a good payoff.
Yeah. Andy Clinton, though, $10. Question.
Oh.
Was there any meaning to Vatic saying how appropriate it was for Seven to remain with Jack when they were on the bridge? We talked about that just a few minutes ago. It definitely implies a Borg-type connection, but I think that's the most boring route they could go. So I really don't want to see that.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Anyway, Lore gets the cat, and boom. Data disappears. The last blue dot. It's gone. Everybody's like so sad.
And it's tricky because, of course, it's not they're not going to kill Data again. Even they did twice for realsies both times, so it doesn't quite have the weight it could do, because of course. But also, it's just nice. You know, it's fine. It's good. You know, the power of love, and he comes on and the light goes blue, and it's sweet, and like says Stratagema, it's yeah, it's effective.
Mm-hmm.
Although someone else pointed out the man's wig in the two shots, it's like the hair's the wrong color of white. It's not cut right. It's like doesn't like Brent. For whatever reason, those two shots. Once you know the scene, the first time you're so focused on the moment. Second time, like, oh, that's not Brent Spiner's face.
Yeah,
that is not a Brent. That's not a second Brent Spiner. It's like, well, no, of course not. So I imagine Brent's like is all just random old guy. I love that idea because he's really going. I mean, he's good for him.
This felt very Agent Smith taking over Neo. And then the good in Neo eliminated Agent Smith. Yes, it's very similar to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this whole goodbye brother thing was fantastic. It's sad. We are one now. We are me. Goodbye, brother.
I'm surprised they didn't say also something brother, because they love that double brother. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Data obviously says brother more. Small thing.
Yeah. And then the best part, we need your help. The ship's in trouble. Say no more. And then everything starts firing up. Brilliant. It's a very hero moment for me.
Yes.
They reestablish communications with the shuttle. They're like, come aboard. And then this is great. The botswain whistle, and this is your friendly positronic pissed off security system back online. Unwanted guests and monologuing protoplasms. I am announcing an immediate shift change. Beautiful.
It tells you everything you need to know. He's back. He's different. He's kick-ass. And Data did solve many, 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 many situations. So, he's MacGuffining. And that's okay. It's Data.
Yeah. He solved a lot of things being plugged into something else.
Yes.
Usually when I'm plugged into something else, my brain's somewhere else. So I don't solve many problems that way. Kyle Wong, 5 pounds. Well, you have Professor Xavier Picard. So Beverly is a mutant making mutant children. Mutant making mutant children. There you go. Andy Clinton, $10.
Oh, Andy.
Someone go and turn on the Titan Ace phaser switch. Yes, fire everything. Photon, 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 photon. That's twice now.
Because they literally have 2 types of phasers.
Yes, well, they can't decide which to... They're linked together, and they cancel each other out. So every time they go to fire one of them, the other one, like, initiates, and they're shorting each other out. They gotta fix that shit.
Okay.
But then we get the Raffi fight scene, which fighting shapeshifters, okay, what? Anyway, whatever.
Does she have a phaser in a holster?
She has a weapon, yes. It's not a dolphin phaser, but it's like a...
Yeah, I don't think you can justify that a phaser from 22 years ago can disintegrate when... I guess Warp improved it, but that's a bit of a leap. Yeah, it's a ridiculous little scene. Like, good for the actor. It's well, like, she does a good job personally, but she's not smart.
It would have been great.
Yes, your idea was better.
Well, I have a better idea than that one even. But that one, my original one that I was saying was she had a sword in one hand, a blaster in the other. Take them down with the sword, then phaser them, and then move on to the next one. Now my new idea, which is even better, both her and Worf come into the corridor. Worf just kind of steps aside, grabs his phaser. She lunges forward, starts taking them out with the swords, and as soon as they hit the ground, he like phasers them from the end of the corridor. Kind of like watching his Padawan do her thing, and yeah, I think that would have been better. But anyway. Let's see. Matthew Lebner puts in $20.
Ah, what a testament statement.
Missed you for the holidays. Data and Lore and Data and Geordi was great this episode. You think Titan and Enterprise D Voyager come together to save the fleet next episode? and Tuvok and 7 on Voyager, next gen on Enterprise, and D on Enterprise D, and Shaw on the Titan. I don't know if they'll split it up. I don't think. It's a good point, actually. I would love to see. Well, the Enterprise D, I think, is going to come back for sure. I don't think Voyager is going to get into the fray, though. But I like the idea of the actual Tuvok and 7 being on the Voyager. That's cool.
Bold.
But, yeah. And get Jack on the 1701A because he's a Connie guy. Ray Ricks, though, 5 pounds. Sam may have a point. The door could lead to a mind palace like Sloane's section mine in extreme measures. We know modern Trek is obsessed with Section 31. Yes, the mind palace that is Sherlock and stuff as well. Yeah, it's clearly a door to unlock the truth, literally. So,
yeah.
All right, so Data says, Jack Crusher, you are up.
Yeah.
And then that's my cue.
There was a plan.
Pulls her in, and what are you doing? And then
it's cool. It's a bit Star Wars-y, but only a little bit. Boy. They're screwed. Although, doesn't Picard say who's opening the door? I guess Geordi.
Picard. He says, Picard says, Bridge, open the evacuation hatch now.
Yes.
Mostly voice command because he got his overrides in because of Data. Or just Data's doing it, one or the other.
Yeah, I assume Geordi.
But then get off my bridge.
Oh,
fucking solids. Fantastic. And as we talked about, we have an episode coming out about this evacuation hatch thing. It totally breaks the scale of the ship again.
Or fixes it. I mean, that's up to personal.
The scale that they say it is.
Well,
it breaks it.
Yeah.
It's much more in line with the TOS or a refit, Connie.
It makes sense, you say?
It does.
Give or take.
Yep.
No, it's good. It's kind of interesting that also the lights turn on, because Basards and Warp Gore can just be turned on, I guess. General power start, I guess. But yeah, it's cool. Vadic is she knows she's lost. So what does she say, Stuart, in her moment of I've lost?
I already said it.
Oh, sorry.
Fucking solids.
Sorry, it was so subtle, and it's such a good line. I was like, oh, I thought you just pissed off people.
No, it wasn't subtle. I think you were doing something else. Pay attention to it. You missed it. But
Definitely.
I made sure to say it.
She's obviously on green screen, though. But I like it. And poor henchman, we never knew him, but to know him was to love him, and if you don't know him, you can't love him.
And I thought she was going to get thawed out by the deflector or something, or fly into it. You know, she like shatters on the thing above it.
I mean, I really appreciate the lingering CG shot. We rarely get that in modern Trek, to have that sort of constant appreciation for a shot. Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, I certainly assumed she was going to start to thaw from the heat of the deflector. And then we get a hint of globules. Because if they're globules, I could see her reforming. But as I said to you in our review, once she's globuled, well, she'd still freeze again, wouldn't she? Like, that's, you know, etc.
And then everybody, including Carwin, is pointing out, you would not freeze in space. This is bad.
You know what a changeling is made of goo? How would a change? But the changeling's made of goo now. Goo freezes, doesn't it? Doesn't liquid freeze?
It depends. What's in the region of space that they're in? Maybe it's a different region of space.
Oh yeah, it's colder space.
Yeah.
But anyway, Shaw now does something because he's good. He's now going to order and totally unearned.
He doesn't do anything. He goes, sits in the captain's chair and says, "We're not done yet. Commander, you take this one."
Yeah,
he's literally done nothing.
But he does like he puts his foot forward. Like he takes command of the situation to give his order.
Yes.
And then Seven's very powerful. It's like, fire you mother. It's like, you know they're all dead, right? You destroy. Good shot though. Good space shot of the pew pew.
Carwin, yes, it's a vacuum, but it also is extremely cold. It's absolute zero. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
When
watch The Expanse. They're the most accurate when it comes to what happens when the body's in space. It does freeze, just not as quickly as everybody thinks.
Now, what did you think first reaction when they destroyed the Shrike?
I said that's a cool visual. Didn't think, oh shit, Picard's body's on there until later. I'm like, wait a minute, was Picard's body on there? So yeah, I was kind of surprised that they did destroy the Shrike, honestly, because we got rid of Vadic and the Shrike all in one. I'll say one swift blow, but not really, like two back-to-back blows. But yeah,
Whereas I just thought, you know how this Shrike is more powerful than the Titan and has a billion weapons and everyone's dead? Why don't you use it to win the scenario? Like, it's more powerful than you. Just take the ship. You're a light cruiser. This shit's a battleship. Why would you kill it? You know what I mean? I guess it's a small note, but it would severely
they don't have the people to go over and reclaim it. We don't know how many changelings were left on it.
Well, no, we do. They say they have few left. I mean, they're gonna be 1, 2, or 3. Very few.
A few doesn't mean 1, 2, or 3.
Well, no, but
2 is a couple, 3 is a few.
But I mean, they said
is a bunch.
She took most of her crew to the Titans. That's like 8 people, which means there'd be less than 8 left. And then you got killed a few, so there'd be only a couple left, maximum. And you'd think they'd have reacted if there's any... I got the sense there was no one left on the ship, based on the scenario, the tone. I just
Why would you want it, though?
Huh?
You have less than a skeleton crew aboard. You had a skeleton crew to start with, and then a lot of them got fucking assassinated and murdered. So you have less than a skeleton crew aboard your own goddamn ship. Why would you be putting people on another ship?
Because you want the weapons. Otherwise, it's like saying, let's go into a battle with 10% firepower.
How are you going to operate it? You know how to operate that ship? Not necessarily.
No, but you got Worf, Raffi, and Riker. Those 3. And you got Data. You don't need Data for the Titan, but Data on the Shrike. There you go. Boom. There you go, Stuart. Data can part the Shrike.
Yeah, you've just been born here. I've got a whole bunch of jobs for you.
That's what's going to happen, though, is Data.
You know, whether it says Picard's body is blown up. Not necessarily. It could have been loaded on the shuttle. I think we're going to get that reveal that it was not on the Shrike when it got destroyed.
Yeah, it would be very anticlimactic because they entirely ignored it. So I think it's off the... off. But it's a really good explosion, though. I really, again, love the linger, love the pew-pew. It's a... You know, you want that satisfying middle finger to the villain. And that was a nice, effective one. Although I can't... In my brain, I'm thinking, has this fireball melted... or disintegrated pieces of Vadic? Probably, maybe not, who knows. But then we get Worf, doing his job. Good.
Criticizing her fighting technique.
Well, I meant more killing changelings, but that as well, yeah.
And then Riker and Troi come on and says, "You're scary."
Yeah.
And then Troi almost faints, and she's like,
yes.
There's a darkness on this ship. Yeah, it's because they haven't turned any lights on. There's another goddamn screenshot I got a tweet about. Anyway, an all-consuming darkness. So it wasn't Vadic.
No, that was nice. That was definitely a good. Yeah. I mean, it's not subtle, right? But the fact that we're putting things together, the fact that she was on the ship less than 5 minutes, and she's like, "Oh God, evil! Oh no!" Because obviously, if that had been episode 2, whole scenes and would have been different.
Isle of Film, €2. Spot made me cry. Love to all our fluffy friends.
Aww.
Oh, hold on. I missed those super chat. That's just Guru 2000 throws in €5. I hated the fucking solids line. Pure schlock. Also, she forgot she could turn into a space creature. She can't turn into a space creature.
There's no reason to think she could at this point, yes.
But anyway, we don't need to explain that another 20 times.
No. But
Isle of Film, €2. Spot made me cry. I read that one. Okay. Sushi Juice, $5.
Sushi Juice, what?
I think the fact Beverly knew what the changelings were and fused with so quickly made me suspicious she was part of the Project Proteus. No, she looked it up. She was not part of Project Proteus. Why is everything Beverly's doing with genetic manipulation and all this, and she's part of the plan?
Bev's
She's
a
evil.
good guy,
She's a
Stuart.
changeling. She knew what project to look for, so she saw the list of things that they used in the experiment, and she got the one that had a half-life that she could trace and track. It's simple.
That's what they said in the scene.
Exactly.
I was there.
I know. Andy Clinton, $10. Will the transporters have something to do with the ending? Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Transporters, that needs to be answered.
100%. 100%. And actually, they might play a reversal where, because Data might be able to control the fleet. Maybe he'll reverse the changelings. Ooh, actually, hey. What if all the real people are stored in pattern buffers? Which I
like that.
And therefore he'll reverse it, and suddenly Tuvok will beam out, and change Tuvok will beam in. Into the pattern buffer, and then you suddenly have this giant fleet-wide reversal, and that's their plan. Because that'd be quite subtle. Every time you beam in and out, you swap people over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. It's not been set up at all, but tiny hints.
Yeah. Next scene's great, because it's like, welcome back, Mr. Data.
Yeah.
And it's good to be back. I've tasted I know the totality of the human experience. I've already tasted death.
Yep.
So, and he goes, but this, and FFI does his signature head tilt, but it cracks. I say, ooh, this is new. I like that. That's great.
Yeah. It again sets up the tone, the context really nicely. Speaking of though, Bosch TMP shot straight from TMP. The fact that it didn't go to warp though. Finish the damn shot you're teasing. That's a shot you're replicating. Have it go. That's fine. It's a nice shot. With a brightly lit ship, Stuart, mostly. Sort of.
Yeah, it's better though, for sure. Used a contraction. No, I didn't. Ha! Seems my sense of humor is. I can use contractions and I have a sense of humor. That's great.
No, I didn't. It's like that's his biggest joke is just say it again. It's so simple, right? But this is the amalgam of decades and decades of acting experience with decades of characters in there. He's back, and they don't even play it in the "you're back" data. It's like, right, let's just get talking again, right? You haven't been gone for 30 years. It's the rhythm, man. They pick it up. This has got to be you still see explosion going on behind the Titan. This is minutes ago, right? He's just been reanimated and they're back to being best friends. How heartwarming is that? My God.
Yeah. This is a fantastic scene.
Oh,
and then it goes to...
This is the scene you want in...
Then we get Shinjan's knife. What does that mean? Oh my God.
What?
Wait a minute. That's not Shinjan's knife. That's a Klingon knife. Maybe there's a... Oh, it's just a knife. All right, moving on.
He also killed Martok or something.
Welcome back, Data, with an upgrade. Then we get the whole, sorry, you were dead. You wanted to be dead, but have we disrespected you? Nope. Good. All right, moving on.
Fair summary.
Well, it is.
Yeah. And Riker's being Riker. Riker's right on.
Yep. And the whole, yes, it's been a long time, far too long since we've all sat at the same table. Troi says, to Beverly, I found myself talking to you in the good times and the bad times. Good advice regardless. And Worf, fucking Worf. I have slaughtered countless enemies over the years and considering sending you their heads to all of you. But I was advised that was passive aggressive.
I don't quite understand that as a joke. But I guess it's Worf.
It's just, yeah.
Because when would Worf ever cut the head off somebody? Apart from this apparently.
Season?
Yeah. He'll stab people. He didn't... Gowron was in the chest. Duros was in the chest. I don't know if he ever cuts their heads off. That's graphic for a Klingon.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing here to me is, all that matters are back together, whatever. But behind Picard is Frontier Day ceremony stuff. Looks like ship placement, fleet placement around the museum, which is interesting because I didn't call that. I didn't see that.
No, yeah.
But so they have a plan going into Frontier Day.
Well, presumably though they've set that up for the next episode. We're going to have another sequence. So.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. That's the deal. Yeah.
And Frontier Day is just hours away at this point, so.
Yeah, but no, this is actual TNG, guys. We had a true TNG scene. Everyone's in uniform, ostensibly. Everyone's doing good. Everyone looks good. I wish Worf had a few more lines, but that's okay. You know, to give Beverly some stuff to do. And as someone said in the chat, it's actually better lit. It's actually a slightly brighter scene than the average scene.
It's because they got the crew together, so it's going to be bright.
Because, yeah, maybe
we're pulling all the bad Star Trek tropes of the last few years out of the darkness into the light. Look, we got the crew back together.
Because I certainly didn't think at any point, like, they're all well lit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But they make a point of saying that whatever the changelings have planned for Frontier Day is directly linked with Jack. And that's where it's like, I think it's time I met your son.
But not just Jack, but Jack and Picard's body, his DNA did this is important, I never didn't get into this again, did the aromatic syndrome brain part. So they actually get to the big bad, or was it destroyed on the ship? Never talked about. Are we still going to get a duplicate Picard? I don't know.
And it's worth pointing out that she says it's not in him, but around him.
That was like, he's not a bad guy. Audience. He's not He's not a changeling or a par wraith. What is around him sucks. Which I thought was very intentional. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. That's another one of those lines that was put in to negate any questions.
Yes.
And then we get the ship cloaking. And then spaceport, he puts in 2 pounds. And it says, all around a table, an ending in itself.
Maybe. Oh, and also Picard's in his new uniform. It's the same jacket, but now with the sharp things, so he's more uniformy. Oh, and then and their plan is just to have a plan. Although, I don't know about you, but I was very distracted by Marina Sirtis's double fringe.
It was awful. It went right down into her eyes, too.
Like, I've got a screenshot. It's this.
Yeah.
Her hair was never that. Like, Marina, you can't see.
No, because it's better in the next scene. It's better in the next scene.
Better in the last scene. What the hell's here? It's very distracting. Especially as Gates has a beautiful forehead, like everything's so carefully and then it's just like, hello. Where are my lines? I can't see. It's a weird choice. Yeah. But then the Titan cloaks, to remind us as a cloak, a 190-year-old cloak or something of the ilk, older than Tuvok, probably cloak. And then Stuart. Everything is answered in this scene, because now we've got the most important character with the key. The key is Deanna. Deanna can open the door. Deanna will make him open the door. We will learn the secrets of the season 3 plot this scene.
They're speaking for the audience because they say, I would normally wait for you to seek me out as a counselor, but because we want to... Anyway, he says, where's this here? Oh shit, I'm going the wrong direction. That's why I didn't run. Such an idiot. All right. Yeah, they definitely make her speak for the audience because she's like, I would normally wait for you to seek me out, but I think we can both agree that the quickest path to the truth is what everyone needs right now.
It is blunt forcing it a bit. Yeah.
So, give me your hands. We're going to do this together. And then, we see the red door.
Akuchi Moya by the whatevers of your grandfathers. Speak to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
He says he's avoiding the door because he's terrified what's behind it. He's like, it's all right. We'll open the door together. And then we get the whispering voice is all it says this time. Jack. Yeah. Get all these flashbacks or visions of like the storm. Red storm.
The storm with 2 or 3 destroyed pieces with smoke coming off it as if a planet's been destroyed.
Yeah. Which goes back to what Thematic was saying earlier. Do you feel guilt? Is it guilt you feel? Something dark happened for sure.
Tendrils of something, a door clearly, Section 31 door surrounded by darkness, red of blood. Could be.
Well, the tendrils, those branches, those are going to tie into the tentacles from season 1 of Picard.
Sure. Or Velnak, Vishnu, the guy from Stranger Things. Still, all the Stranger Things vibes. And just to call it out, because I noticed it. Thank you. I always forget. I did quite like these straight-on shots with the guys, with the weird angles, because that is a green screen shot, I think, where that's going to go, like swap into an environment.
That's something else I forgot to point out earlier. Many times there was Dutch angles in this.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And high up shots, looking down.
Yeah, I like it. It's well shot. But I'm excited to see next week, because they just shot this back to back, right? It's not a long scene. They'll just keep shooting the scene. You know. So I think, like I said, there's going to be some fun background stuff, some green screen stuff that will help it feel. We'll do some stuff. Because you can really... The visual vibe of the two shots to the weird close-ups is distinct. And I will be honest, I absolutely thought he was going to turn it, open it, we see 8472, Q, Borg, something, and whatever that is sort of turns to hello, Jack Black. And so we know what's
hello, Jack Black? He was in this week's episode of The Mandalorian.
At Nepenthe, it all comes full circle. I thought we were going to see that and be left on a next time. So this felt thoroughly unsatisfying versus that which felt thoroughly satisfying. Unless it's not.
I was looking at the time on the episode going, wait, what is, no, what? Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of the actual ending?
I fucking hated it. They didn't need to do that to us. They could have ended it with them at the table and her saying, I need to talk to your son. That would have been way more satisfying than this shit.
With a sort of. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just start here next time. Or not like with them and then talking to each other and her counseling him essentially. Mm-hmm. That's where they need to cut it.
Well, counseling or forcing him. I mean, it's
well, at this point, yeah, it's like the answers.
I counsel you to do the thing we all need to do right now. Do it, or we're screwed. And there we go. And I think the next two are going to be the bomb. Honestly, I think we're going to have... This is good. I think we're going to ramp up. I hope they're 60 minutes each. If the next one's 44 minutes... This shit's going to riot, man. Because this needs to be 58 minutes plus 58 minutes plus an epilogue season called Legacy. 22 episodes.
Well, guys, it's that time of the show where you guys put in your super chat scores. Super chat in your scores. Yes. I will read those out of 10. So out of 10, score it. And let us know any last thoughts you have. Super chat those in. I'll read those when we're done. And if you just want to put in the regular chat, Samuel will read those scores after he is done talking about his last take on this episode.
And to remind you, the fleet. We have a Trekyards fleet. Joining the channel on YouTube will bring you into this fleet. That's all you have to do. You can pick your number. You can be an admiral. You can literally have one of these ships with your name right at the top. So if you love this episode or the next couple, consider, join, be part of the family. And there is some fun meta stuff we're going to do in the future as well. So you might love your ship. You might be so loving. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Oh, the Franklin, Stuart. We added the Franklin. Did you notice, Stuart? We added the Franklin. Oh my God.
Yes.
That's why I also added the Voyager as well. What
hit
a
the
fleet,
like button, you guys. We're at 227 likes. I want to get up to 250 if possible, so hit that like button.
And final poll. I'll read the poll. Are you glad Data Vision 2 is alive versus dead from Nemesis or Picard Season 1? Should Data stay dead or alive? 89% think Data should be alive. 4% think Season 1 is a good death, if you had to pick of the three, and 7% Nemesis.
There
you go. I'm going to do one more quick poll as we hear your final thoughts, and has our conversation, our deep dive breakdown, changed anything in your mind?
It has, I think. I might appreciate a little bit more, some more subtlety and nuance there that I didn't really catch, I guess. Plus the hint stuff by Vatic were quite interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's a good episode. It's still good, even though it's not anywhere near the best of the season for me. It is definitely better than last week's, but like I keep saying, last week's and this week should have just been tied together into one episode. because they seem to be stretching it just a tad. The data scenes, data and lore were fantastic. Love those. I just wish that, like I said, lore I think being de-aged would have been a little bit better, but then we could complain it didn't look good. So it was fine the way it was. The Geordi and data scenes, fantastic. Two friends back together again. And also, speaking of back together again, just the whole crew being back together again was fantastic at the end. It's about goddamn time. It's episode 8. I was expecting this by episode 6, honestly, when we came into this season. So, we're there now, finally, and that's great. The Worf rescue scene, amazing. One of my favorites as well. Some interesting dialogue there, and there's some really good moments in this, for sure. That raise it above, and I can see why a lot of people say it's like their favorite episode. But those are all emotional beats. As a whole piece, there's problems with it, I think. But we get introduced to a new feature of the bridge, and some other really cool things as well. So there's a lot to take in. Score-wise,
for this season and all Picard.
Yeah. For this season, I'll give it an 8.8 out of 10. For all of Picard, this is where it gets tough. I don't know. 9.94. 9.94. Let's go with that. Because all of Picard sucks. So no matter what.
I don't think you should say that I was going to skew all the future things. I'm just saying.
I don't know what to say. I don't remember what my overall scores were.
You gave everything a 9 compared to last season, but that would be a very, very high all of Picard score.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Fair enough.
That would be in the top percentage of the season.
9.13.
Okay. Because I obviously take the second score to help beat Tiebreaker, so that would have entirely broken the scoring system if you'd kept that.
Cool.
Yeah, for me. Not 91.3, 9.13. No, 9.1. For me, it's good. It's got a lot of great. It's got a bit of excellence. It's got a bit of okay. The payoffs are far worth it. The sets work better in general to do more interesting stuff with them. The Shrike looks better.
And they brighten them, yeah.
I've also brightened them in post. I kind of wish they had a different set for Data in a cupboard, but obviously he's in a mine realm most of it. That's fine. Brent's great. I would have wished LaForge had a bit more, but again, it's such a broad. You can't give everyone dialogue, right? It's just too impractical, especially when you give Vatic monologues. But for the most part, dogs really good. I'm left this episode wanting more of Worf and more of Brent and LeVar. Brent, who was played Data, said for the last 20 years he'll never play Data again until they gave enough money to play Data again. So he'll never play Data again until they gave him an idea that was worth playing Data again. He has now said he wants to play Data again. Several times already.
Yeah.
So this man said no to Data respectfully for 20 years. He now wants to play Data again, and he was great in his 2 scenes as Data, as a new Data. That tells you how engaged he back is and how fun this was for the team. If they aren't being hired within 12 months, my God, that'd be a shame. All this damn goodwill. Oof. Yeah. But wow. CG's good. Try to be destroyed a bit weird. Ending's annoying, as we said. Jack is good. Not amazing, but good. Raffi is there. I couldn't tell if I liked Deanna's accent or not. Like it wasn't her English accent, but I didn't necessarily. It was an interesting hybrid of. Wasn't full Deanna, wasn't full Marina. And
again, that's the other thing I forgot to mention in the summary was that yes, her and Jonathan Frakes killed it in their scenes together. I don't like Marina just as a person really, but I was expecting not to like her. I liked her. She channeled Deanna. It was Deanna I was seeing, which was great. Yeah. So,
but the accent,
kudos.
What do you think? Was it how close was it? It didn't sound.
I was wondering that. But yeah, I was thinking that during that scene. It sounded good enough to me. I didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah.
I you know, they're all here.
Wasn't distracted. Yeah.
No, and I now we can just play, and we've lost a bridge officer to give lines to. R.I.P.
Yeah. Intervene.
No, I hope it ends with a bang. I hope we get really exciting, big, bold, interesting stuff to end this great season. Because you can forgive any slight hurdles, any slight stumbles. Start's great, the end will be great, I think. But let's see. Score-wise, a lot better than last week, I think. But wouldn't be in the top 3 or 4 of the season for me. I'm gonna say 8.67. But yeah, all of Picard, I think I will agree with you. It's in the 9 full Picard. Actually, I think it just because the payoffs. No, I'll meet you at 9.1 because even if itself isn't the best episode, the payoffs to the every legacy factor in above. Because I do not give a shit about Narek and all that stuff. So them having emotional scenes is not going to grab me in the way these things are. So final super chats, guys, and then we can jump out. Woof.
Yeah, so we got Andrew Hess with $1.
Thank you.
Spaceport, £2. Data, Worf, and Vatic demise scene makes it a 9.5 out of 10. So Data, Worf, and Vatic's demise, yes. Curtis S throws in $2.
Thank you.
9 out of 10. Data lore moment could have had Kohlrami. Kohlrami.
That's the stratagem guy.
Oh, gotcha.
So even more of a reference that he's asking for.
Yeah. He should have just did this and had the things on his fingers.
Do you remember this lore? Oh yeah, or just hand him a stratagema set. My memory of winning against opponents that are too cocky in strategies.
Have him pull up the stratagema things, then take them off, hand them to Laura. Puzzle.
Oh, that'd have been a deep cut.
That'd
have been a deep cut. That's funny.
Ray Ricks, £2. Back to celebration tomorrow. Whoop.
Oh, go enjoy. Yeah. They got a life-size TIE fighter and such. And then it just sounds the Daisy Ridley show. Or movie. Yeah. That's cool. I mean, she's great.
Yeah.
Just don't let her be written by Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams. Yeah. Just give her a good writer and she'll be great. I mean, she's... yeah. Super Chat scores, you've already read. Let me see the non-Super Chat scores. We have got from you fine. And do vote in the poll, guys. This is your last chance to vote in the poll. And last 9 likes. Come on, get us 250 likes. It's free, it's simple, it's easy. Click like right now. Like Spike. 250. Your scores are 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 9.5, 8, 11. This is Chuck A. 9.2, 10, 9.8, 9, 9.7, 7.5. Ooh. Sean, 9.5 out of 12. Math. 7, 10, 9.5, 8, 11, 9.2, 10. 9.5, 9.432, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 7 to 8. 7.5, Marco. Ooh. 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9.5, 8 out of 10 for Rafi. Oh, that's sad. 8.9, 8, 6, 7.5. Now, what score would you give this episode, Stuart, if it's actually the Red Angel behind the door? Would that lower the score of the whole season for you?
Minus 9.6.
Fantastic.
Ray Allen puts in $3 with a little dancing something. Thank you for the dancing something.
Excellent.
And Aeon throws in $7 Canadian.
Oh, thank you.
8 out of 10. Great review, guys. Do you think they'll end up with signatures like Star Trek 6? I'm hoping so. I'm getting sad. The season is nearing an end.
Yeah, I think they said not that, but something of their own. I think Terry said that.
Yeah,
too
I
copying.
think Terry said they didn't do that for a reason. Yeah. But there will be something definitely like that. So.
Although they should totally do like a poster of them all, like an actual cast picture of just a still and all signed by all of them as like a collector's piece. Oh, my dad says 8 out of 10. Okay. There you go, Dad.
Cool.
5 more likes. Quick like spike as I read out the rest of the poll. 107 votes. I asked, do you think the season's payoff will be great? Not this episode, but the payoff. Will it be a stick the landing? 77%. That's over 77 of you. Said yes, it is going to be great. 17% it'll be okay. 6% will be mild disappointment. Only 1%. That means 1 to 2 people. It'll work. It will not work. Big letdown. That's a lot of confidence right there. Good for them. Good for the showrunners to have that much confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Well, guys, that's it.
Wow. We did it.
Please enjoy. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Please enjoy your Star Wars celebrations and/or your Easter plans, and have a safe.
I have Easter
weekend.
plans, so
yeah,
I will not be here.
Yeah, but yeah. Have a safe weekend, and we'll see you guys. Well, you'll see us all weekend.
I was going to say,
edited content coming out.
Check out our videos.
But yeah, and we'll be back next week, as we always are.
And of course, guys, make sure that Drunk Yards retrospective right at the end.
That'll be a fun one. For the season, that'd be great.
That's going to be a hell of a thing.
All right, and yeah, until then, he is Commander Cockings.
And he is Captain Foley. Bye, guys.
See you guys later.